All right, welcome to another episode of Logicast. My name is BlankaKong. Today, joined by Gunnar Eos, Hotter Wolf, and returning Esoteric Skills. Welcome back, man.
Thank you, thank you. Feels good to
Yeah,
be
it's good to
back.
have you back. So, today's episode is going to be a filler episode. We are going to do another tier list episode, and I know how much you guys love the tier list episodes. So,
I know I do.
we enjoy it, so fuck it, we're gonna do it because this is a good filler episode or filler type episode, and these are generally fun. So I don't know, fun for us at least. So we hope somebody enjoys it out there. So anyway, our tier list of choice is gonna be the 100 Ultimate Game Protagonist tier list, and it's gonna be based on the characters, not their games. And this is the roster that was prepped by whoever created this tier list. Unlike other tier lists, we've created a rubric because if you watched our Spider-Man enemy tier list, we got lost in the weeds with certain characters. Lizard. So
Whatever.
we are ranking the characters as a group for design and look / appearance, their powers and skills, their motivation, their character motivation and personality, their story, and then we have a miscellaneous tier just in case there's something like unique to the character, aka dealer's choice. So yeah, and we're gonna use that rubric to basically like justifiably, objectively place these characters in the tiers that they deserve based on our opinions and our arguments, whatever. So that's the rules. Let's dive in. I wish there was like a shuffle button or something, but I guess we'll just go by what's listed and how it's listed. So first up is Marth from Fire Emblem. So what do you guys think? Design / look? I give him an A for look and design. I think it looks cool. What do you guys think?
I think he lost points with the tiara.
It's his sister's tiara.
I don't care. It's a tiara.
Okay, so if you gave him a letter grade, what would it be?
B?
B. Okay. Mr. Esoteric?
I'm gonna go with A. Like the tiara doesn't bother me, and
Gunner?
aesthetically he's a cool character.
I'll go with A as well because if you look at current Fire Emblem characters, he's pretty fucking tame compared to Pepsi Coke Eternal Battle. So yeah, I'd give him an A. He's pretty.
Well, when you have over, what, I'm going to say 150 Fire Emblem characters, they're kind of running out of ideas. Or I guess, or they're being tested.
True, and it's a design that they go back to constantly. A.K.A. Lucina
Yeah, he had
and Prom, right?
Yeah.
Among other characters, like Ike even kind of looks like Marth in some ways.
Well, that's because those are like distant relatives of his. So it
Yeah,
makes sense.
canonically, their Marth is
Yeah,
their
his-
ancestor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even
So that
the,
makes
the,
sense.
the moveset, the stuff that they wear, it's like it's paying homage to
Yeah.
Marth. So it's a design that does work.
Definitely he's the template. He's definitely the template.
So powers
So-
and skills.
Okay.
I think Marth is pretty powerful. I
He's a Fire Emblem character and a main
so
character.
I'm gonna put him in. I'm gonna give him
well,
an A for powers and skills. Got those counters and all that. He's pretty damn strong in his world. You guys agree, or any contention? Any points of contention?
I give him an A for powers for sure.
Yeah, A.
Agreed. He's extremely versatile.
Motivation and personality. I would also give him an A.
Hmm
Yes, I give him
I
an A
agree.
for that.
I
A.
agree.
Yeah.
And I would say story, same. I'd probably give him an A for story. I think he has a good motivation, good story. From what I know, like I played a little bit of
Yeah.
the what was it, the DS Fire Emblem, which is like a remake of
Shadow
Dragon
Yeah.
of the whichever one was on like the Famicom or whatever that we never got before.
Mhm. Yeah.
So like overall, can we all agree that he is an A? Marth. Marth is an
Yeah.
A rank character.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kid Icarus. Design and look. I give him like a C.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, I go with C. It's a fucking Greek Angel Man. CSC.
Greek Angel boy.
Boy, sorry.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Powers
C.
and skills, I give him like a solid B. I think he has some pretty good
B.
like moves and stuff.
Yes, Kid Icarus is
I think
powerful.
I think powers and skills is like his.
I would buff him to A.
I concede and give him an A because I think that's the only
Yeah.
category in which he would score high, in my opinion.
Mm.
Motivation and personality. I think his personality sucks. Like I hate.
Think so?
Yeah, because he didn't have
He's a mega
He only
simp.
showed personality in like the 3DS game and Super Smash Brothers.
True.
Because I did play his original game on like a ROM or something. And,
But-
you know,
But to be fair, his original game wasn't like the 3DS was like to reinvent him as a character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Smash game, you know,
he didn't
was
have a
introduced
character
in.
before that.
No, definitely not. It was just a sprite
As
shooting
far as
arrows.
motivation and personality, like I'm basing everything off of that 3DS iteration of Kid Icarus, which is it didn't appeal to me.
Right. Oh, it didn't. I think that was worth a B because he was like your typical anime protagonist. You know, like slightly clueless,
Mhm.
but very positive.
Ah, that's a
And-
good point. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely base. I would say B. You know, he got the job done, but he was also like, as Wolf said, you know, personality wise, clueless, but optimistic. Yeah.
Sure, it's just it's a trope that's used so much that like it loses points for me.
I get you. on
Like
that.
you guys say B,
Yeah.
but because it's overused, because of that, I would lower it to a C. That's me personally. I would concede a B,
I mean, it's
but
a good point.
I-
I think we're going to see a lot of those types.
That's what I was gonna
down this
say.
list.
That's why I was
I
saying B for the
think-
baseline.
Right. I think overall he's a C.
yeah, like if I had to
Tier
rank them right now,
protagonist.
I'm leaning to C, maybe even D. But I already see some D's there. And I think Kid Icarus is a little better than them, so I'd put him in C. Personally, like any
I-
pushback on that?
I'll settle with C.
He's fine. I think that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
We Fit Trainer Girl, right? Like
D.
What do we? Come on, what story?
Yeah.
What character?
We know
what
her.
powers? What are we talking about right now? Why is this character
Right.
even on here?
We know her. She has to be a D. It has to be a D.
No, it's a don't know. It's a
It's not-
DK.
Okay,
It's not a
all right.
don't know because we know that. we know
Okay,
the
so
character.
besides Super Smash Brothers,
the character,
besides Smash
sucks.
Brothers, who here has played Wii Fit? Because I haven't played Wii Fit.
I have not.
I didn't play Wii Fit.
It's Esoteric.
Well, okay.
Esoteric played Wii Fit.
We Fit. She's just an
Correct.
avatar. So what I'm saying is basically that since we do know her, she has to be D because we can't just say that we don't categorize her because
Well, we know of her existence,
Right,
correct?
but okay. So the person who made this tier list didn't make sense putting her in. I think they did it for the lulz because she's not a protagonist.
no.
Like,
Okay. So,
even in her own game, she's not a protagonist. She's not like
well,
she doesn't. She's a
technically she
placeholder
is.
to
because-
guide you. There's not a story. There isn't any character development. There isn't any challenges. She's an avatar designed to
mean-
guide the player.
People
Yeah,
don't
so-
even know there's a male Wii Fit trainer, and I think you can select him, right? Can't you, Smash
Yes.
Brothers?
Yeah, you can select
Yeah.
them as well. But so the avatar is basically a depiction of you, which basically you're the protagonist. So like, you know, I don't know.
I
The
think-
fact that
I
she
think she should
has,
stay
she
in.
scores in the rubric that we've decided on. Design and look, she's a D, if not an F. Powers and skills, F. Motivation, personality, F. Story, F.
F.
Miscellaneous.
F.
I'd like
F.
to hear an argument here.
No.
I mean,
listen.
I got
there
an
is
argument, but this is a family show, so
Okay,
that's
here's the thing. There is no argument. I'm just speaking on the premise of utilizing the don't know category
I'm
for
treating-
characters that we
I'm
actually
treating
do
don't
not
know
know.
as don't know / F.
Okay, fine. If that's the case, then
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
Don't know, don't care, basically.
Basically, right? It's either don't know
Correct.
or don't
Okay.
care, or like not even worth ranking.
Okay,
Right.
cool.
okay. Then she's fine where she is.
Okay,
All right,
yeah.
Little Mac. Design and look, pretty generic. I'd give it like a C. Powers
Yep.
and skills.
Yeah, boxer.
I'd give it like a C because he's just boxer.
Powers
He's
of a
just-
boxer.
He's just a little boxer man.
He's just
And
a
in
boxer.
his world, he's pretty weak.
Yep.
Mhm.
Motivation and personality, I give him like a B.
I would
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
because
you know, I like Rocky movies. I don't know. I'll give him a B for that. Story, that's like a D. It's not a good story.
I know.
It's
I did not play Punch Out. Gonna be honest.
he's just
I think he's like a weak boxer
It's a
who just
basic.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
just a lower ranked boxer. He wants to be the champion. It's very very straightforward.
Okay.
Miscellaneous. I like the trainer character. He's pretty cool.
miscellaneous is. I like how he plays in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, he's
Like,
interesting.
he's
He's like a
fucking huge.
glass cannon, like a
Yeah.
hyper glass.
I like the
cannon.
fact Mike
Yeah.
Tyson was in this game and Mario was the ref.
Yep, that too.
Yeah, so he's
So
D
D,
tier,
right?
right?
Yeah, I'm not defending Little Mac. Yeah,
Inkling,
someone's going right next to him.
Inkling girl, Splatoon. Are we wasting time? D, right?
No, you know what? Hey, look, if we're gonna be fair, we gotta put it next to Wii Fit because she's the same. It's the same cat. It's the same thing. It's an avatar for the player. She's customizable, and
They don't. They,
That-
it's the story doesn't necessarily revolve her, like this orange inkling. It's revolved around a community of
So-
inklings.
right.
So I can't even say she's the protagonist.
Mr. Esoteric
Well,
is the
she-
one who's played the most Splatoon here. So
Okay.
where would you
So
place her?
she is technically she does have her own story. She's an agent, and essentially she's
oh,
supposed to be
that's
fighting.
true.
She's supposed to be fighting like the octopi or whatever because they're the bad guys in the game.
Okay,
Overall, the game is great in my opinion. I enjoy it.
but the character.
But I would place her in B, the character, because there's not much development pertaining to her. She's just basically an agent who goes and fights the.
So
fights the
she's
odds.
good
So,
right
yeah,
here,
she's-
She's
ahead
still-
of Little Mac.
But here's the thing, and I don't think she belongs ahead of Mac. She's not the protagonist of Splatoon. She's a character in Splatoon. The point of Splatoon is not revolved around her. It's revolved around a community of inklings who has to fight against an invading octopus species.
Sure, but like she
That is the
has
story.
her story in the story,
she's the focal point.
and she is a
Yeah.
part of the.
She's not the focal
But she's
point.
in the list, man. So we have to treat her like a protagonist.
I would say technically she is the focal point because
I
like
would say she's not the focal point because if she was the focal point, the story would
All right,
involve
we gotta bust out the
her.
rubric.
She's there.
all right, put it like this: Naruto is about a group of ninjas trying to,
No,
Yes,
Naruto-
it is.
Naruto
It
is
is.
I knew.
Naruto is about a young man
It's
who
bound
is
to happen.
obsessed with another young man.
Nah,
That's
it's
what
about-
Naruto is about.
right.
A young
No.
man who's obsessed with
All right.
another young man.
All right,
No,
this is why we created the rubric for this exact reason.
hmm
Design and look, I'm giving her a C. Agreed?
yeah.
Powers and skills, I'll give her a B. Agreed?
Why?
Okay.
Because they have like a bunch
To
of
be
she
able
has a
to
bunch
turn
of like
ink
different
and-
like guns or whatever. So and
She shoots
and
paint.
she turns into an octopus. All right, fine. C. I'll concede a C.
I think C is fair. I think C
C?
is fair. Because how many of us can turn from humanoid to traveling squid and like go through?
What are you
Bodies of
talking about? The rat coming up next can become Super Saiyan.
That's why he's S. So we'll get there.
Yeah, like
Motivation and personality, esoteric. Because you played her story, I'm gonna refer to you.
She doesn't have a story. She's just a character who says this
What
is
would
what
you
I
rank
am.
it?
No, I would say D.
Okay.
It would be D.
And then story,
Yeah.
same D.
Story, I would give it like a C.
Oh wow.
Yeah, story is a C. It's not bad, but it's
Any-
not great.
any-
It's just
I've only played Splatoon 3s, and
Any
she's not in it.
miscellaneous qualities.
That's because she's not the main character. She's not a protagonist of the game.
Any miscellaneous
Oh my God.
qualities about this character. Again, I only know this character from Smash
No,
Brothers.
can't.
So
She's
no,
bland.
Can't think of
Okay.
anything. Can't
could
She ain't
change
got
her
So
her
she's
color.
got-
She's bland. She ain't got
she's
no
got
name.
3 C's and 1 D.
She can't talk.
So I'm good with where she's
She-
at because she's the top of D tier.
She cannot.
I
I would
wouldn't know.
concede
I don't
below
know about
C
Little
tier
Mac.
based on the rubric.
Oh wow.
To me, I feel Little Mac is better than she is. because
Oh, we
at
really
least
argued about
Little
this
Mac.
fucking position right here.
You do know.
I feel Little Mac is
All
better
right.
than she is.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'd have
Okay,
to
so let's
agree.
go back. Let's go back to Little Mac. So Little Mac
Little Mac
design,
is a boxer.
I believe we gave him a C, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Powers and skills, I think we also gave him a C, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motivation and personality, I think we gave him a B here.
B. Yeah.
And then
right,
story,
yeah.
we gave him, I think, another C or a D or something like that.
It was like a D because it was a very generic story.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
And miscellaneous, we found it cool. Mario, at least I did. I'll speak for me. Mario was the ref, and Mike Tyson was a.
also
on
Donkey
a
Kong
podium.
was a
And
super
I
boss.
thought-
That was pretty cool.
Oh, there you go. That's a third one.
And
Yeah,
I
but
thought
that
he was a
wasn't-
strong. I thought he was a cool character to use in Smash Brothers, to utilize in Smash Brothers. But that was the miscellaneous part to help give them their, little.
I
extra
think those
credit points.
miscellaneous factoids is like maybe a B.
And I'm okay with that. But Little Mac to me is way
So,
better than Inkling.
Based
because-
on the
okay,
rubric scores, Little Mac goes ahead of Inkling Girl. Done.
I'm fine. I'm
agree.
cool.
That's
I'm
why we have the
cool
rubric.
with it.
Done. Moving on.
Anyway,
Just
S
delete
tier.
this. Sorry for the
please.
typing, guys. I just have a notepad document opened up because we spent like 30 minutes on discussing the lizard last time, and we're not doing that again. So, Sonic.
Stop playing.
Design and look, I think, is a B.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's a blue hedgehog.
Powers and skills is definitely A.
S.
S.
I could see that.
Nah.
I could see he does.
My man is
S,
like.
okay,
S.
you got me. You got me. S. I ain't gonna even fight you on it. Motivation and personality. I'd give it a B.
Oh.
That nigga has a
I give it a
shitty
B.
personality.
I think
Yeah.
he's like, you know,
Yeah. He has a
I don't
shitty.
think it's shitty. I think it's just like overused.
Yeah.
It's just like the cocky, like free spirit, fucking. I'm gonna save
gonna
the
say, it
world.
Hey,
depends
Mr.
on-
Dante.
It depends on what personality we're talking about, because Sega's tried to change him over the years. He used to be the cocky, you're too slow, but then that hurt too many people's feelings in Smash Brothers, so we took out the line, and now he's, PBS, family friendly. Let your 2-year-old watch my show.
I'm going with Sonic has a shitty attitude for a character, but
He's extremely confident.
he's confident. That's the words I was trying to come out with. But even then, so you can see where Sega attempted, even in a fast-paced 2D playing game, starting from Sonic 1 on the Sega Genesis, they attempted to give him personality. Like, when you even stand there,
And he looks
Oh,
at
the
his
yeah.
fact that
watch.
he looks at the screen and taps his
Mhm.
right, that's personality. So for
Yeah.
me, Sonic has a shitty personality, but to reevaluate myself, I would give him an A.
Really?
because-
Wow.
They've put in effort into his personality. Not to mention that they've tried to stay as consistent as possible with his personality, going from various video games, even up to his 2 live action movies. Very consistent with his personality. His personality is bold. He's confident, and yes, while cocky, and kind of like, well, we're tired of seeing this because we watch a lot of anime, we've played a lot of video games with similar characteristics. I feel like of all the years that Sonic's been around, to stay consistent in what he is, I give him an A in personality. To be fair to Sonic, and trust me, it's not a franchise I care for at all.
I'm okay with that because I think I like his personality and his motivation. At least in the older games, I think it was noble. He was trying to save like the animals of the world or whatever. So I was like, that's pretty cool. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't have any bad motivations. They're surface level, but they're good. Esoteric,
Right.
Gunner. We're going A.
I could agree.
No,
with you.
no complaints here.
I could agree with
I
that.
enjoyed
Story,
Sonic through and through.
story. I'm
so.
gonna give it like a C. I don't think the story's anything to go home.
Yeah,
Yeah, even my
Enough
favorite
fun.
game, Sonic Adventures, it was just like very basic. We need a plot because that's what video games ask of us.
All right. So Sonic is in bottom of A tier. Fair.
mhm.
Yeah.
Right next to
That's
Marth.
fine.
I think that's. I know Zedekiah would be very happy with that placement.
He's gonna put him in S.
Yes, plus.
Yeah, he might fight for that S tier.
Mhm.
All right, so the monkey from Super Monkey Ball.
Tough.
You know, I like the games and all, but I'm thinking bottom D tier, right? Like, are we gonna waste too much?
I agree with you 100%.
I almost know nothing about it other than it's a monkey ball. You collect bananas.
Yeah, I don't know if it has a story. I don't know if they have powers because there's different monkeys.
I think they have.
I really
It's
don't
like
know.
Mario Kart when they have different. Like I turn better. I have more weight. I'm floaty.
I don't know. I had 15 minutes of life experience with that game.
I saw
For
it
me, I don't
played sometime. Yeah,
It's a great game. I just don't know like the ins and outs pertaining to like the characters and the story. So yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Bayonetta. Design and look is S, 100%. Like, we're not, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
stop playing.
yeah.
Powers and skills, I think, is also an S.
S.
Motivation
Yep.
and personality, I
Mhm.
give her an A.
A.
And then
Yeah.
story, I think her story was pretty good, but nothing crazy.
To write
I think
home
it's
about.
a B.
Hmm.
So,
I think overall, Bayonetta should be our first.
I was gonna
S tier
say,
character.
would it be too crazy to put her in
Yeah.
S? I don't think so.
No, I don't
No.
think so.
I think Bayonetta.
No.
I think Bayonetta definitely deserves to be our first S tier character.
Yeah.
Okay, that was very easy. I mean, with two S's, an A, and a B, and then we could have definitely came up with something for miscellaneous, which would have been a high score, I'm sure. Yeah, I think she's a really good character. She's iconic too.
Yeah.
So, alrighty.
Mhm.
I don't know the girl's name, but the girl from Nights and Dreams.
I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
Knights,
what's
isn't
called
it? Just
Knights. It's
Knights,
called
okay.
Knights.
I never played it. I never played the game, so I wouldn't.
I
know.
played the game.
It's a
I don't. I,
yeah.
I couldn't tell you
Go
anything.
ahead.
I know what the game is, but I don't know.
I couldn't
I've never
tell you anything
played it
about the
myself
story.
to know anything about
I
it.
can't tell you anything about her motivation or personality, so both of those categories are automatically D. Powers and skills, I give her like a C, and design and look is like a C.
Yeah, because she like flies, right? Like she's like
Flies
a floaty dream genie
Yeah.
like thing, right?
Yeah, she flies. She has. Well, I can't say it's she because.
is it a she or was it just left androgynous to
to me,
whatever?
It
I don't know.
embodies. Okay, so it embodies whatever character
us, Lord
pick, 'cause
Master.
you pick a boy or a girl and you embody that particular like vessel or whatever to fly around. I don't remember the full logistics behind it because it's been a while since I've played it. But the powers, it does fly. It does do like psycho crushes and shit like that. That's as far as I remember. So I would put it under like a D, or a don't know.
I'm going with don't know, but whatever you guys comfortable with,
I think
support.
I'd vote don't know. Not of any malicious intent, just because my lack of
No
knowledge.
experience.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
put her
Yeah,
right
that's
behind
why.
Monkey,
That's why. Yeah.
because the same could be argued for Monkey from Super Monkey Ball. So
Okay.
bottom
Yeah.
of D. All right,
Okay.
this one I have really little opinion.
Hey, my
This is
man.
Kiryu, right, from Yakuza.
Yes, Kiryu from Yakuza 1 through fucking 7 currently.
Don't have a dog in this
So
fight. So
design and look, I think he looks fucking cool. He gets an A for design and look, maybe even an S.
Yeah, I think he looks cool. Yeah.
Powers and skills, I mean, I've seen him do some crazy shit.
Yeah, they want to tell you he's just a normal Japanese man, but he just drop kicks people off of like roofs and I mean, if we're going by the logic of the game world, he is just a normal guy. There is nothing super powered about him. He
But
just
I
has
mean,
like
he could fight,
fighting
and
spirit.
he has like a lot of like
Yes.
determination, from what I could tell.
yes,
Well,
you
yeah,
said that.
let's use that. Let's use that as his powers and ability. Like, right? Like if people say, "Oh, Batman superpowers is his mind, and he's a master strategist," right? So okay, so his powers and ability is the fact that he can keep up with so many fights in a short amount, in long periods of time.
Yeah.
Because I know the Yakuza games is like a beat 'em up game, right? Like they swarm
Yeah.
you. Yeah, so I would say I would give him that respect. Like, okay, he's a guy who just he kicks ass. That's his powers. The fact
That's
that
his literal.
kicks
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Here we go.
I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't have a dog in this fight.
All right, so Gunnar, where would you put
No.
him in this tier list?
I'd put him B. I think that's fair.
B? Okay.
Because Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight that because I think already design, look, powers, and skills, like he already scores high, and then personality, motivation, and story. I
Okay,
can't say
so
much.
yeah, so I'll because Yakuza's big, so I'm not gonna spend all the time. Basically, he starts off as a Yakuza. For those that don't know, it's a Japanese member of the Japanese mob. Essentially, he gets framed for murder. Finds his innocence, says fuck the mob, and tries to live a normal life. So he used to be a mobster, and now he tries to live a normal everyday life. He has people try to kill him, frame him for murder, blah blah blah. So he's had it rough in Japan. So like and he adopts a girl. He finds a girl. He adopts her. So he tries to be like a family man and get his life back on track. But he's kind of always confronted with his past affiliations with the Yakuza. So like he's always getting into fights to defend her, defend his honor, save him from being locked up or killed. So like I think his motivation is pretty high. So reevaluating maybe A. Yeah, I think like A would probably.
Have he ever tried leaving the country?
That's what I'm saying. Why these niggas don't try to leave the country?
Like, I mean,
No, because he loves Japan, I guess. I mean,
again, I don't
I
have a dog in
cannot,
this fight.
I cannot,
Leave
I
the
cannot fight
country.
you only because we all agreed that under design and look, and then powers, like he scores pretty high, at least an A, and like it sounds like people love the Yakuza story. I think if I played the Yakuza story and really got into it, I feel like I would probably rank it A or S. And then his character motivation and personality, like I think the character's pretty funny. Like the whole meme with like the
memes,
karaoke shit's pretty funny and kind of charming. So like I'm okay with A. Like I'll put him, right next to Sonic.
we can move him to A. Yeah,
like I don't have enough to like fight against that, so I'm just gonna concede to whatever Gunner believes because he played the most out of all of us. So moving on, Super Mario design and look is a D. I might give it a C just because it's so iconic. The M on the hat is kind of like the best part of his design. Powers and skills, I'd give him an A there because he has so many. If we're talking about all of Super Mario, like he has a lot of powers and skills, and they're all pretty strong. Motivations and personality is like a D. Story is like a D. Any points of contention there?
I think Mario should be baseline C, like mid of everything, because he's mid of everything. He's also like the template of templates when it comes to protagonists. So me personally,
disagree. I think he's at least a B.
Yeah.
I think he's at least a B
A
because
B?
he has way more to offer.
B as in boy.
B as in boy. I think he has way more to offer
okay.
than Kid Icarus.
Whoa, yeah.
Well,
Like,
definitely.
But then if I compared him to Sonic, I think character-wise, I think Sonic has more offerings. So I keep Sonic above Mario.
I do feel right. That's what I'm saying. I do feel like Sonic and Mario are the two most iconic protagonists on this list. Like hands down.
Well, they're iconic for different reasons.
So,
Mario's iconic for his gameplay, not so much him as a character. Him as a character is pretty like lukewarm.
Well, what I mean by iconic, right? What I mean by iconic is that I mean that many people of many ages, interested in different things, can identify them.
Sure.
Without really thinking twice.
I give you that. That's a miscellaneous point. Sure.
Right. But so for me, is like Mario. All right, like Mario is his motivation is to save Princess Peach, right? That's the typical hero saving damsel in distress. That to me is like borderline. How do we start a story, right? Like if you're gonna start a like if you was to come up with a protagonist right now out of our heads, right?
That would be one of the first things you would create, and like they never revamped that really. So yeah,
exactly. So for me, it's like okay, he's basic story. Okay, saving damsel in distress. His design is it uses two very easily combinable complementary colors. Red and blue complement each other. Brown with the boots, complements the blue, and it complements the red. So he's not even an overly complicated
No.
designed character.
So I gave him a C for design and
And then-
look. What would you give him?
Yeah, I give him a C for design
Okay.
and look. I give him a C for everything because even with his superpowers, right? He can fly in some games, he can glide in some games, he can shoot fireball in some games, he can grow big in some games. So it's like because of so many different abilities that he have, none of them is really consistent. So it's like, say for example, like Mario in Super Mario Brothers, his strongest power up was the fireball, where his suit turns white and he shoots the fire flower. But then when you look at, say, Super Mario on the I think it's the Switch, where he has like the cat abilities, that cat suit can do a whole lot of
Yeah.
shit, right? And then the Tanuki is like right in between them because the Tanuki gives him what's it called, maneuverability. But when you compare it to something like, say, Kid Icarus don't have half of what Mario can do. But then when you look at Sonic can blow Mario out the water when it comes to powers and abilities. First and foremost, to be able to almost run as fast as, well, I don't think he can hit light yet, but I know he can definitely break the sound
would you
barrier.
disagree with the top of B?
Right. I wouldn't disagree with the top of B.
Okay. Anybody?
I wouldn't
What
disagree
about
with
the
the
other
top of
guys? What do you guys feel?
No.
Esoteric, I
I don't
know you
have
played
any.
more Mario games, I think, than all of us combined. So I played a lot of them, but like I think you've played more than me.
Mostly the RPGs for me. So,
Well, that's what I was thinking, right? In regards to like the story aspect, wasn't his perspective like wasn't the story different as opposed to like him just solely slaving the princess? Because
I mean,
he's
not
been in a lot of different
Sure.
games. You know?
Not
I mean, if you want to get
really.
lost in the weeds of every single game, we can go down that road. But like generally, most games he's either saving Princess Peach or he's saving somebody.
he's saving something.
Right.
Yeah. There's a something in distress that he's going to rescue. You're right. It's not always Peach. Sometimes it's Luigi, and it's the same concept. It's swap out Peach for Luigi, same game or same motivation.
Right.
Most of
Like,
the games
again,
that's his
at a-
position. Like, right? I mean, do you have pushback on that? Can you prove me wrong in saying that? Because I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't have pushback in it. I'm just asking.
Okay.
You know.
Like Sunshine, I think he was saving the island, and he was fighting against like the evil Mario that would teleport in between the paint portals or whatever.
Which was Bowser revealed to be Bowser
Right.
Jr.
Mario 64.
Oh
He was
my
saving
God.
Peach. Mario
Right.
Odyssey, he was basically saving Peach. And then
Or was it Rosalina?
Rosalina was Mario Galaxy.
No. Yeah.
Mario
That which was
Galaxy,
on
okay,
Wii.
yeah. Mhm.
And every other game is basically like I have to defeat Bowser because Bowser's terrorizing the kingdom or whatever. So it's always like something like that. Mario
Right,
Wonder,
the
that was
Mushroom
basically
Kingdom.
it. He saved the little flower people. Like that's his default story. Like he's the savior character, which I think is fine, but it's not interesting. I think Mario loses points in motivation, personality, and story. That's his weaker end. Powers and skills is like where he shines, and design and look is like very mid tier. But like his miscellaneous, like there's so much stock that you could put there. That I think there's a strong argument for B. I think is giving him too much credit, personally, based off the rubric that we've created.
Okay.
So we're good to move on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
My boy Mega Man. And this is original Mega Man. So we're not going to include X or Mega Man Trigger or any of the others. This is just original Mega Man. Sadly, X isn't on the list, which I think is a crime. But anyway, design and look, I think his design is iconic. However, it is pretty plain. It's basically Astro Boy with a suit. I'm going to give it a C. Powers and skills, that's a fucking S. Like, Mega Man has so many powers and skills. Motivation and personality, I give that like a B. And then story is like a C. What do you guys think?
I put Mega Man in either the B tier with Mario or the low A tier overall as an overall character protagonist. This Mega Man, if it was X, that'd be a different story. We'd be
I'm
having a very
okay with
different
him being
conversation.
right next to Mario. I think this makes sense. You know, even though my heart says A, S, right? But like, objectively speaking,
Yeah.
he's a B tier protagonist. He's a great protagonist, but like he's not,
Yeah.
nothing groundbreaking. Any pushback or points you guys want to bring up?
Yeah, since this is the original Mega Man, I have the least knowledge about him. I'm like, if this was Battle Network Mega Man, I can comment more on that. So I'd have to agree because I know very little about base Mega Man, but what I know of him, yeah, it's overall his points equal B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up is Ryu from Street Fighter. If I had to rank his design and look, I'd give him either a high B or a low A, somewhere in there. Powers and skills is going to be an A. Motivation and personality is an A, and I think story is like a B.
What?
So let's hear it. That's my ranking. Now I'm willing to hear yours. Don't say S down the board because come on.
I would say for design, I would definitely place him in A because he set the tone for like karate fighters wearing bandanas. So that became pretty iconic because of him.
Okay. Kind of
Powers, I would say maybe AS because of the Hado. Story, yeah, I would say story probably like B or C. Because it's been done before. A karate fighter trying to master the arts, trying to fight within himself to not become a stone cold killer. And I can't think of anything miscellaneous.
Motivation and personality. I think I gave him like a B here. What do you think? Because his personality is pretty bland, but I think his motivation makes up for it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. He stays true to his convictions, but like when it comes to other shit, like you don't really get to see his personality because he's always like wandering and stuff. So like I don't know.
So
Wolf. I mean, you have to have a personality because you're walking barefoot.
Considering you are the Ryu main, Ryu's one of your favorite, if not your favorite, fighting game character.
Fighting game character.
Like, what is your opinion? And try to be as objective as possible.
That's why I stayed quiet. For appearance, I'm giving Ryu a A, because much like I agree with Esoteric, which was my point with him, for when it comes to fighting games, Ryu is the template of template.
Agreed.
Right. For powers, I'm struggling between S and A. The reason why I will put him in S is because Ryu's powers have 3 different levels. It's just because of balancing issues in fighting games, it isn't something that Capcom is going to push on him because he's supposed to be the template for the fighting game. So if Ryu was to explore his different levels of powers, he would be Akuma 2.0 or Goken 3.0. So it really all depends on how you want to look at his powers and in terms of correlation to the story that he has to deal with.
I mean, I can see including Evil Ryu into his like.
I was gonna say,
I think that's fair. So like that's fair. I can give you that.
Mm-hmm.
And that I would agree that definitely an A tier in power and skills. I agree. S I feel like that's a little much.
The reason why I will put him in S is because he's the first character that we're coming across on this tier list where at full capacity he has killing intent, which means where
he becomes Kage.
Everybody else will hold back, right? Where everybody else will hold back, he will not. So that means he's always fighting at 100% potential.
So,
right?
Okay. Go ahead.
But that's just that part. Now, when it comes down to what was the other one?
Personality, and then story.
Motivation and personality. Okay, so with personality, I can agree. His personality doesn't really stand out because he's supposed to be a stoic, kind of quiet person, kind of a guy he's a hermit. I think that's what they call him, or a nomad or something, because he's always traveling.
Yeah, nomad.
Right.
Nomad.
Because he's always traveling, but he's stoic, right? He's very, He's very like he doesn't have a very I guess jovial
look
side
at
to
his
him.
face.
He's
Like this is the
right.
picture of
Like
stoicism.
I mean, in
the
some
only way you're going to
cartoons they
interest
show
him,
him.
right?
They show him with his jovial side,
Vile.
but they don't give him much interactions within like the
Right,
story.
like you can't like your person like he's not around other characters or people enough for him to say, okay, well, these are different sides to my personality. So it's easy for him to have a very direct, straightforward kind of attitude. If you're not a fighter, if you're not going to test him in what his goals are, then you're not worthy, or I won't say worthy, but he's not going to pay you any attention unless you're Ken Masters. So for me, I do agree where his personality is like a B. When it comes to his motivation, I'm gonna give it like an A, because this man, at least okay. So Ryu's motivation isn't necessarily just becoming the best fighter, best world warrior. His motivation really is to learn how to control himself.
Yeah.
Which is I always correlated to the how we are as people, right? Like we're always trying to be the best version of ourselves. That's what Ryu is. But I can agree with a B on his motivations. But then his story at the same time, I also will say is a B, because again, we've seen it. Main character, very high power and potential. Every villain wants him. No matter what the situation is, he just can't escape it. He always get dragged back into the center of it. Street Fighter
This is
2.
how I'm feeling now. I'm feeling like either top of B or bottom A.
I would put Ryu as bottom A.
Yeah, I can agree with
with
that.
Like I said, yeah.
But wait, hold on. Why is he behind the dude from
I wouldn't put him behind the dude from Yakuza. No, because if you put him in the same space, Ryu will destroy him.
Well, we're not.
Ryu at least uses
we're not
energy.
putting them against each other. I just put them here, just to
Fair enough.
okay. If this makes you feel better, then there you go. They're not looking at each other.
Okay, so no. The reason why I asked, because in previous tier lists that we've done, the placement in which that we had them within
it does matter.
the category.
It does matter.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
that's fine. This is not a hill I'm dying on. Yeah, Ryu could be ahead of Kiryu. That's fine. Like that's fine. I'm cool with that. All right, so.
But I think Ryu deserves to be A tier.
I can't really fight you on that, because Ryu is like, when you think fighting games, you think of Ryu. Ryu is the face of fighting games. And even though he scores low in motivation, personality, story, he scores super high everywhere else. So I think A is perfectly fine. S, I feel like is a little, maybe a little much, only because like he scores so low in motivation, personality, story.
S
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
cool. Dante, jackpot.
Shit.
Design and look is S, brother. I'm sorry. Powers and skills is an S. Motivation and personality is like a. I'm gonna say B.
I would say A, low,
high B,
really?
low A.
high B, low A. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This sounds like favoritism. Really?
No, it's not. It's not favoritism.
Personality and
His
motivation
is questionable.
His motivation is A. Exactly.
His personality.
He don't even know what his motivation
personality is what bumps him. There's an argument for an A.
Nah.
I think it's a B. I think because these two things are together, it's a B.
It's a B.
This is the
Because
thing with
Dante has no direction.
Well, see, this is the question I asked before we started filming. What Dante are we talking about? If we're talking about DMC 3, sure. The guy just went there because his brother said you suck, and that was his whole motivation for 3.
Yeah, but that's when he just started. So like.
Yeah, but then like 4, he was like, he's like a predator. I'm too old for this shit. And right, he's letting the new kids, the young bucks, take over the devil hunting. Devil May Cry 1, he's like a seasoned devil hunter who finds his clone mom and falls in love with her. And then DMC 4, he's like, I'm investigating this weird cult thing. But like that's the thing. Like, this guy is so varied that it's a different Dante depending on what game we're talking.
And I think all of those
And his
motivations,
motivations will be
all of
different.
those motivations are pretty mid.
Yeah.
I think
Because
they're all low.
I think they're all. I'm being generous with mid, because in the first game he's just a devil hunter. He's just doing like that's his job, literally. That's his work.
That's his job,
right?
yeah.
Devil May Cry
Yeah.
2. It's a little more. It tries to be a little more involved. Where he's like, I'm gonna save the world. I was like, who is this character? We're not even talking about.
Yeah,
2.
well, 2.
Three
2 is 2.
He was having a dick measuring contest with his brother. Like that's pretty like mid at best. 4, he was just like. He was already
he was
tired.
doing his job
yeah,
again.
like he was just tired of his job. Like anybody listening to this, if you worked a job
just
for
clocking in,
more
bro.
than 2 years, you're already like, bro, I'm tired of this place. That was Dante Devil May Cry 4, and then 5, it was kind of like 4, just a little more like he was a little happier. You know, he got his second win at his job. He got a promotion or whatever. Like it was all mid. His personality is carrying a lot.
I saw it as him close to
That's what I'm saying.
retirement, so it was like Nero could take over.
Yes,
His
know what?
personality
carries a lot of water.
You know what I feel? What I feel
Stories to
that
see.
that Dante suffers with is it's not about him when it comes to Devil May Cry the series. It's about the gameplay.
Yeah.
And because it's about the gameplay, as a character, he suffers.
He's just the avatar to facilitate.
To
the
me,
gameplay.
Dante's right here.
Because to me, God, sure.
Only because he scores super high in the other categories. I will.
If we're going
I
by
will
the
concede
what
he
we
could
said.
be a high B.
Wait. Hold on. Let's hear the score for the different categories again, because if he got practically like 3 S's, how the hell he's
He
only
only
in
got-
B?
No, he ain't getting no 3 S's.
Oh, he
I
didn't
gave
get-
him.
he
I
didn't
gave
get
him an
S's at
S.
all.
No, well, I personally gave him an S.
S in
So, okay.
aesthetics, S in powers.
Yeah, so that was my score.
How
That was
is
my
that low?
score, and I didn't get pushback. So
Okay,
unless you guys have
okay.
pushback, because
Because I gave Dante an S in powers, but I gave him an A in,
Which is
in
still pretty high.
appearance.
but okay.
Right, which is still high, but I really feel like his story is shit. All 5 of them. That's how I feel.
I'm not gonna say
I just,
shit.
I just
I'm
don't
gonna say
feel
surface
like
level. They're surface level. They have very little substance.
exactly.
that doesn't mean it's
It's
shit,
like
it's
drinking
just-
water with like a teaspoon
Shit
of
is like
sugar.
bad. Like the story is bad. The stories weren't bad. They were just like
It's bad.
not memorable.
I feel as far as like motivation goes, his brother has a better motivation and better
Why?
direction.
Because he says let's get
as an
motivated when he
anti-villain.
turns into Double Trigger in MVC3.
Because he actually has like the thing is he has a goal. He's sharp. Virgil is
Yeah,
sharp.
I
Virgil
agree.
knows what he wants. This guy is just like, oh, it's just another Tuesday. I'm gonna put a bullet in a devil's in a demon's head. It's like he has no direction. He is by far the most, how can I put it, nonchalant video game character I've ever come across. And
Tell you
that's
what,
always
yeah.
been my
Hold on.
problem with Dante.
Oh no, I
That's-
wouldn't go as far as to say that he has no direction per se. Because if he had no direction, he wouldn't just go out and.
What
do
I
his
mean
job
by
when he needs
no,
to.
what I mean by no direction. Okay, this is what I mean. At least this is how I'm looking at it, right? When
Okay.
we look at these video games, all these characters that we've already given high scores to motivation, there's a consistency and a nobility in what they're doing and why they're doing it, right? Like for instance, Sonic is a protector, so where he was told not to mess with the Chaos Emeralds, he still went ahead and he took that chance. That's a personality that is not not gonna find it much. It worked out in the end because main character plot armor, but in the end of the day, he wasn't overloaded with power. Instead, he learned to harness the power and became supersonic. And he uses that, even though he is not the controller of the Chaos Emeralds, or he can't turn them off and on. It for Dante, it's more like, oh, I walked into next week. Oh, this is the episode of next. It's like watching an old '90s cartoon where episode 2 has nothing to do with episode 1. It's just like this is the adventure of
agree
the
with
week.
that.
I get what you're. I get
agree
what you're
with that.
saying, but like, I get. Okay, so they do portray Dante to be scatterbrained, but we got to give him credit because throughout the games, he does know what the hell is going on and he does resolve the issue. You know
Well,
what
you
I'm saying?
gotta kind of want to know what's going on if you're in it. Like, if you walked into a shit show, you probably want to clean up the shit a little bit. You know, you're
All
gonna want to know
So
who started this
let's
shit.
let's try to narrow this down. Okay, design and look. Do we all agree on S? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty cool
Okay.
looking character.
So
Overall.
Yeah,
so we've
okay.
agreed he has at least one S. Powers and skills, I'm giving him an S because he's fucking OP.
I
I am
agree.
giving him
Yeah.
an S.
I
I am
agree.
giving
So
him
he
an
has
S.
two
Yeah,
S's.
he's S.
That's already gonna like put him
Right.
pretty high on the list. Motivation and personality, I think
Right.
we can all agree he's a B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Story, that's a C. And I think I'm being generous.
For me, it's a
And,
D.
yeah, I could concede a
For
D
me, it's
honestly
a
because
D.
the stories are they're not memorable. They're really not. Those games shine because of
Yeah.
gameplay. Let's be real. So
Yeah. No.
so
yeah.
Mr. Esoteric, do we have a contention for story or motivation and personality? You
No,
you
there's
agree
no
with the B and the
contention.
D? Okay, so he's
Yeah, there's
an
no contention.
SS BD.
He's got two S's. Yeah.
I think
SS.
that
Yeah. So okay, then the D definitely brings him down.
I
to
think
the B,
that
then.
brings him
overall.
here, right? And maybe over.
Yeah.
I think he's ahead of Mega Man. I think he's ahead of Mario. He is because he
Yes,
has
I
double
agree.
S's. So yeah, I think he's top of B,
Right. I agree.
right?
Okay.
Can we
Oh,
agree?
Dante, you were so close.
This is fair.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
fair? Okay, because
Yeah,
there's an
I think
argument
that's
for
fair.
A, but like, because
There is,
he
but-
scores so low in the second half, it's like,
Especially the story.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, it
come
really. Yeah, that hurts him.
you know. But
Okay.
all right, we good to move on. Or any last points on DMC? No. Okay.
Not
Good
for
to move
me.
on.
Leon from Resident Evil. I think design and look, if we're taking into account,
Leon.
this is within the world of.
Leon gets an S in everything. Leon gets an S in everything.
I was-
I'm sorry. I'm putting Leon S.
Design and look,
Yeah.
I'm giving him.
My nigga
I'm
gets
giving
an
him
S.
I'm giving him an S. And powers and skills
I'm giving
In
in the
Leon
world
an
of
S.
Resident
He
Evil.
gets an S in everything.
He's an S.
First day on the job. And he survives a zombie.
Damn, really? An S in every.
Yes.
I
I'm
mean,
giving Leon an
Yep.
S.
Oh,
I will
yep.
argue this.
I was gonna okay. So I was gonna say that his outfit in 2 looked stupid until they fixed it in the remake. Cause my man walking out here with Judge Dredd shoulder pads, and he's a beat cop. He's got better outfits than Stars members.
Well, it's a good
But
thing he did so he didn't get bit in the shoulders.
But the remake made it look more realistic, even though his outfit is vastly different from every other beat cop. But he's a main character, so fine, I'll concede
Well,
that.
he started off slow in 2. Like he was like, "What the hell is going on?" And
No,
then
no,
in
I'm
4
talking about just aesthetics at this point. That's the first category.
Well, yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
Like my man is
That was
like
done.
beep boop
That's
bop.
right.
I'm in Terminator armor, and it's like whoa, okay.
But that's
You some spec-
but
you some
that made
spec
him
op
but that
agent?
made him look cool, and that sold the game for a lot of people. Seeing him on the back cover.
Oh yeah,
that,
definitely.
that bumps him up. And then in RE4, he looks fucking cool as shit. Like my man is
Yes, he does.
ripped out. Okay, that coat with the fucking little shit on the the little fur.
You know,
that shit
boots with
looks
the
cool,
fur,
man.
you know?
And then in RE6, he looks a little like, all right, life has been hitting you
I mean,
hard.
RE6 he had like
Like a leather
he had
jacket.
like a body tight shirt and with like a little jacket.
It was
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
tame, but like it looked cool though. He still looked cooler than everybody else in the rest of the game. So
Yeah.
I think S is fair. I was fighting with A or S. Powers and skills is an S because I think in the world of Resident Evil, he's like that guy has extreme luck. He's athletic. He knows kung fu moves and like the guy's powerful. He got trained by the Secret
Yeah,
Service,
forward.
Secret Service or whatever. Motivation and personality is an S. Personality is like a B.
My man survived.
Motivation.
Personality's a B.
Motivation
He's
is
like
an S.
generic. Motivate, yeah.
No.
Because he's
You
like,
see, the reason why for his personality, I would give him an S because in the beginning, on his first day on the job, he was really happy-go-lucky. Then he experienced the shit that he experienced, and then he went to, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna be laid back, whatever. Like, I don't know.
If we're looking,
his personality
if
transition.
we're gonna primarily look at his personality in 4, which is I think how most people know Leon, then there's an argument for an A or an S because he was smooth as butter throughout that entire game. With the one-liners and all that,
calculated.
like, yeah, pretty sick. And then story, I think the RE stories they're fine, they're good, but they're not amazing. I think they're like an A at best.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like
yeah,
James
A.
Bond type movie. I mean, they like James Bond.
I mean,
movies.
depending on
Yeah.
the game, that fluctuates for me from like A to B to C in some categories. But I know that's not the point of this list.
We could kind of like X out 6. Like we don't even have to think about 6.
Yeah, I've never
Six
even
was
played
rough.
6,
So
I
for
can't
me,
even.
like I think
Yeah.
Leon is probably S tier, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, going by our metric, yeah.
so any pushback here from you, Gunner? Because I feel like I hear a little like, I don't know if I agree with this in your voice.
It's just the outfit, but the outfit was immediately rectified in the remake, and I'm gonna count the remake because I thought his outfit was like didn't make sense to me the way Jill's outfit didn't make sense to me in OG3. It's just like why does a beat cop have superior gear to Stars members who were supposed to be spec ops, and Jill's idea of armor was shoulder like, but 2 exists, remake 2 exists, and that rectified it. His outfit looks more realistic. It still maintains the same design. It's just now he just has sleeves and a bulletproof vest. They just happen to be blue.
Well,
Why they're different than Marvin's, I don't know, but again, he's the main character. So
Well, to interject, I'll let it go for Jill because the time of 3, she already knew what the hell was going on, and she was a part of Stars, and Stars was like a special ops team, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah,
right?
but
So
okay, but then look her. Okay, I don't want to derail too much, but look at
Yeah,
her
yeah.
outfit in OG and the remake. Her remake outfit to
It's
me,
superior.
aesthetically,
superior.
cohesively,
Yeah,
is
100%.
better. Yeah, and
okay,
Leon was the opposite for me, but it's been rectified because of the remake.
Okay.
So
But we're good with an S
Okay.
tier. Okay.
yeah.
Pac-Man. He is right next to Monkey. Any like I don't want to waste too much time on like it's Pac-Man, brother.
The motivations of Pac-Man.
We're good with that with the D.
yeah, that's fine.
Jin Kazama. I think.
Right,
I
Esoteric,
think
take it
design
away.
and look is S. I think he looks fucking cool as hell. I can concede an A though. Powers and skills, probably A.
S.
Mm,
I would say S.
I mean, if we're including Devil Jin, I guess.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Motivation and
We
personality.
included Evil Ryu.
Motivation personality, I think is like a B at best.
B. Yeah, definitely a
Story. It's rough, right? Because which Tekken are we talking about? And then in a vacuum, if you look at all of them in a vacuum, like there are some pretty bad ones story wise. Story, I'm gonna give them like let's see, and I think I'm being generous there. Esoteric, what do you think?
Well, okay. I'm gonna ask like, and you don't have to go fully into detail for the time of this this video because I know that might take a while. But like, what story specifically kind of brought it down?
I think after
for his
Tekken 5, Jin's story became like convoluted. Like when he became the leader of the G Corporation and he's like a terrorist now. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And then in Tekken 6 redeemed it a little bit because he was trying to like control the powers or whatever. He was trying to use the powers of Azazel to do that or whatever, and that made sense. But then in 7, he was like in a coma basically the whole game. Then in 8, like now he's like the main character again, and like I don't know, it was just like it's like up and down with him. So his stories is like when you look at it, if you made a chart like a line chart, it's just like these fucking deep peaks and valleys, right? And the peaks aren't that high, quite frankly. I think his coolest was Tekken 3 and Tekken 5. I think that's the coolest version of Jin among his story. And even those stories weren't all that interesting. Like they were fine, but like it's kind of like Ryu. Ryu's story is kind of like his weakest point, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could see that because in 3, you know, he finds out about his his family on the other side. He tries to get a vengeance against Ogre. 4, he's trying to like duck everything. He doesn't want to be bothered with none of this family shit. 5, he actually ends up encountering everyone, so he's just defending himself. 6, he was basically like, okay, I'm tired of this Devil Gene nonsense and people coming after me, so I'm gonna wage war throughout the entire world in order for me to get rid of the Devil Gene. And then it's like, I don't understand what the hell happened with like 7 because he still had it or whatever. It was still dormant. Yeah, I guess we can go with like I would say like maybe a low B, high
Yeah,
C.
I'm good to put him like right here, like right between Mario and Mega Man, I guess. Any pushback there or?
I'm not that invested in Tekken. My last Tekken was Tekken 4 and then Tekken 8. So, needless to say, I've been absent for a lot of Tekken.
All right, so I'm assuming this is fine. All right, Frogger.
Yeah. Pfft,
Right,
my man's a frog.
that's it. Like Frogger, it's Frogger, brother. Like
He's
the
jumping.
PS1 games, I think tried to give him a little more, like, but it's just like it's
They try to treat him like Pac-Man. They tried to give him like a mythos and a world.
like they tried to give him background and stuff, which is like that's nice. And the Frogger games on PS1 were fine; they're great, but like it's an arcade game. Like it's this is the line of characters where like these are just video game characters and nothing more.
Yeah,
That's what D is becoming, which is fine because this is best protagonist and these characters have story and depth and powers and like they're way cooler than Frogger. All right,
Yeah.
the OG Solid Snake. Metal Gear. I'm okay with including the big boss in this because there is no big boss here. Even though they're two different people, they're kind of the same. So all versions of Metal Gear is cool here. Design and look is an S. Solid Snake he looks badass and he just looks cool.
Most in all iterations.
I think I'm trying to think of a game that he looked stupid and I can't think of one. Unless you want to talk about like the game of the year or something like that. Powers and skills. This is a weird one.
He doesn't have powers, but he has a lot of skills. I mean, that espionage to be able to dismantle like enemy bases and stuff like that is pretty phenomenal.
Well, he's a highly trained military asset, so he knows how to use a wider range of military weapons, from a pistol to high explosives to a Stinger missile.
Would I get a pushback on an A?
No, I don't think so.
Because he has hand-to-hand combat. He knows pretty much how to operate any weapon.
Well, did we give Leon an A?
Yeah, that's
category.
what we did. I could have sworn
we
Leon
gave
was...
Leon a high
did.
score
Okay,
within
so
the context of their world.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I thought Leon was S. I
We gave Leon an S.
Snake has to be
I think we
S.
gave Leon an S, but like I'm okay with giving Snake an S because I think in his world,
Yeah.
he's like I'm
Okay,
thinking
yeah.
A though,
Snake would have to be an S.
just because like I don't know, like I don't want to be too generous with the S's, so, but I'm okay with double S in design, look, and powers. Like I'm good with S's there. Motivation and personality, I think. I think this is an A.
Motivation.
I think this is an A. Because his personality is like, he's like, I'm
all about the
world
mission.
vet. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's that typical like war veteran who's like on this mission and.
Well, yeah, that's old Snake. But if we're going by Solid Snake, he's like, yeah, I'm a government operative. America would never betray me.
Okay,
But he's not like that. Fucking, he's not Leon Resident Evil 2. Yeah, like he's not that. In MGS.
No, but he's a loyal soldier. Like he's on this, like he's on the, because he was surprised when he found out that it was just like, oh, this is an American. In the Shadow Moses incident, how they were like American operatives, and the corruption went as high as the president and stuff like that. He was genuinely surprised.
Yeah, he was blinded by patriotism. Patriotism.
Yeah,
I could say that.
Yeah.
But I still thought he was cool. Like watching him like talk, like, and this is a tip of the cap to like David Hayter and his performance. Like the Kodak interactions like made him look really cool. Like it was very charitable to like his character like perception. I think at least.
So I have a question. Like, I don't think we should have every rendition of Snake. Not the like. Okay, so I think we should exclude Metal Gear Solid 3 because that was a completely different Snake. I think we should go from 1 to 4, Like all the ones that exclude
Peace
Big Boss.
Walker.
Those are two different. Those are two
No,
different.
Big Boss is Peace Walker's
yeah.
Big Boss. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, those are two different snakes. So we
So,
have
yeah,
to
Metal
I mean,
Gear
if we're
divide-
going
Solid
with just
1.
Solid Snake, the character, you know, design and look S,
Yeah.
powers and skills S, motivation personality, I'm gonna give it like an A, and then story's another A
Okay.
to me. If we're going with MGS 1, MGS 2, MGS 4, yeah, those three. Those three. I'm good. He's basically got almost a perfect score. I think this character's rocks. His games are fucking legendary, and I think the character's cool as hell. So I'm good with
I think
putting him right up here at the top of S.
Yeah,
Am
I'm gonna. Maybe there's a bias there, but like the Metal Gear story, the Metal Gear games are just fucking.
like the story, like if you
Really
dive
good.
into the story and stuff, there's a lot to chew on, and
a lot of layers.
I don't know. That's me. Wolf, I don't know if he's played any Metal Gear games or if he has like a real like pushback here, but
No pushback.
no pushback.
To what Chad. Yep.
Okay. Simon Belmont. Design and look.
I would
I'm
say
thinking B though, because his design is kind of like meh.
I don't know. It's just something about the Konami aesthetic when it comes to Castlevania, where the characters look freaking cool. But
I can,
you know, that's
I don't know, man. Okay, so if we're talking Super Castlevania 4, looking at that cover art, right? He looks pretty cool there. I think his Smash Brothers character model does him a disservice. I think he looks kind of goofy there. I'm floating on a high B, but I could concede an A. Powers and skills, that's like a C, maybe a B, because like he doesn't, he's not strong. Like he's skilled, but like I throw axes and I'm very skilled with this whip. That's pretty much it. Like he doesn't, you know, everything he fights is like significantly stronger, or at least, you know, much larger, more formidable than he is.
Yeah, but within his world, he subdues them. So we gotta give him some leeway. If we're going by like other characters and their abilities within their world, like he's overcome.
Sure, if you compare him
enemies,
to the humans that exist in the world, but everything, like the things that he's fighting, like there's a bigger gap between Belmont and the monsters in Castlevania versus like Snake and the enemies in his universe. Like Snake is closer to power level to these enemies than Belmont is to the monsters of Castlevania.
I guess so, but I mean, then you have enemies like Psycho Mantis and you know, forgot what the other one was called, but like
Which one
where
is
he
a
should,
lot?
where he should, it is a lot. Like it's so much, but okay. I'll concede with the B.
So we got a double B, and then motivation, personality, that's like a C. Maybe.
Stop Dracula. Wasn't that
I mean,
one
his
of the
personality
games?
is
Kill
like
Dra-
non-existent.
I was gonna say it's not.
His motivation, I is a B. I feel like it hovers around like Mario's motivation. It's like very surface
I was gonna
level.
say, what did we give Mario? Because it feels that way. It's like I must stop Dracula.
Yeah, and then story is
do.
a C. Like for me, Belmont, like I love Castlevania, and I love the games that he's in, but like, he's like somewhere in the B, somewhere in the lower B. Like I'll put him ahead of Mega Man. I think he has but Mega Man will whip his shit. So like Mega Man scores so high in like powers and skills, and he's like, to me, he scores B across the board. Is that fair? Like, am I?
Yeah. I'm not. I want to
Yeah.
that either.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. I don't know enough about Castlevania. What I do know is it kind of repeats not repeats, but it's the same kind of similar story beat throughout Castlevanias. It's like Dracula's the focus, or you know, a piece of Dracula, or to stop Dracula's resurrection.
Or a
It's
follower,
kinda-
yeah.
Right, so it's in the same vein as Mario, where it's save Peach, or save Daisy, or save Luigi. I need something to do to make this video game exist.
Okay, so bottom of B is okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next character I have little to
man.
no
Here we
fucking
go.
opinion here. Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
So, we need to put a new tier, God tier? No.
So design and look. What do you guys think?
D.
Okay,
You said
wait.
B? B as in
Okay.
boy or
Yeah.
D as in duck?
No,
D.
he said
He as in dog.
Wow. So you're being disingenuous.
he's yes,
I'm
he's a
not.
hater. He is a
I'm
hater.
really not. I'm really not. D.
All right, so design. Okay, again, this is the problem with like the snake. What iteration of Cloud are we talking about? Base
All
Cloud
of them. They
or
all the
Advent
same.
Children?
Well, they
D.
were all the same. I mean, they were all the
mean-
same Cloud. I mean, with Snake, there was Big Boss, and then there was Solid Snake. So we had to
So
kind of differentiate
it
between
this
the
way.
two. Cloud has been Cloud.
give him
Through and through.
the highest score he could possibly get in your opinion. Design and look.
D.
Okay, so Wolf is a D. Gunner?
I'm going with A.
Probably a A. Yeah.
To me, he's a B. So, if we were to average that out, I think he lands in B. He lands in like a B for design and look.
Design and look. Okay. I mean, yeah, he's just like skinny dude, spiky hair, big sword.
Like it's kind of like I think a lot of people would probably put him and Dante in the same category as like cool
you
factors.
know what? Yeah.
But like I think Dante
Yeah.
blows him out the water comparatively.
Well,
He's
yeah,
the
yeah,
quintessential. He's
yeah.
like the prime example of
So
anime. Like
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know. He's
B.
I think B is fair because he's not that interesting, honestly.
there's nothing interesting about him or his people.
So
He's a
powers
hater.
and skills, I can't speak to this one. So
D.
I mean, he's a Final Fantasy
because
character.
he's a clone.
so
Yeah, but he's still a
Powers didn't come. His powers didn't come from him.
yeah, but the powers that he can
D.
access in the world that he is in is how we're ranking him. So
First off, they attach these little crystals. They implant these steroids in their bodies.
okay.
That gives them their
So what?
powers.
Okay, and in Final Fantasy IX, you put on a pair of boots and you get fire out of it.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. Same thing with 4 and like.
No, 4 is innate. That is their
No,
ability.
no.
Yes,
no,
it is.
No,
Yes,
no,
it is.
No.
So if
Yes,
we're going
it
by
is.
that metric,
No,
Terra
no,
destroys
that's-
all of them because Terra's a literal summon.
Exactly.
Yes, and I agree with that. But they take the number 7 people take steroids. No.
Anyway,
no. They don't
put
have
him in
powers
like
and
a
abilities.
put him in like a A. I'd
Put
say
him in
A
a
for
B
powers
and
and
a
So
B.
let's
powers and
powers and
abilities.
abilities.
His powers don't.
I
come
can
from him.
see A. That makes sense to me, but like I don't know. I'm not a.
In what?
They can summon
What does he do?
creatures. They hit strong. They're
No,
pretty
no,
strong.
not they. Not they. Not they. No,
They utilize
no,
materia to-
not they.
Yes, they.
Not they,
Yes,
because
they.
he's not the whole team. So
What
not
do
they.
you mean?
What does he do? But swing his sword. He doesn't do anything. That's
he
the
does.
But he
problem
can cast
there.
spells. No.
That's what I'm
No.
saying.
No.
He can cast on the game mechanic level. He can cast spells. Yes, that is absolutely true. But that isn't his. That isn't who he is as a protagonist. He's a swordsman.
Oh my god.
All he does is swing his big sword. Swing.
Okay, so based upon the realm of his particular story, Kong,
Exactly.
they use these
Does
things.
nothing.
They use these things. He used these things called materia that he.
Which is
But that
called
gives
spells.
him the
That-
ability to cast spells, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so then it's
Exactly.
canon. It
Right.
counts. It counts.
That's not his powers.
Whether it's
And
borrowed
he-
or
and
not,
he can-
it's powers he can access. It doesn't.
Okay, fine.
What
It's fine. Power
what are we
powers.
talking about? All right.
Sure.
Motivation and personality.
That's like Mega Man. That's like saying Mega Man. You know, he borrows his powers from
yeah,
his enemies.
absolutely.
But Mega Man, that is Mega Man powers, though. That's his.
But that's what I'm
built-in
saying.
power.
There was no contention.
Yeah, but you
to
didn't
that.
give me any
No, but
pushback.
his
You
built-in-
didn't say
His
steroids.
built-in
and try to-
powers is to imitate. That's his built-in powers. That's what he does. Imitate.
It's still borrowed.
All right, let's move on to motivation and personality. So far, design and look is B, powers and skills is A. We might get a lot of pushback for design and look, but motivation and personality, I think his personality is shit.
That's a D. That's a
Okay.
D.
There's D,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
It's definitely
and
a D.
He wouldn't.
Throughout the-
You would ask him a question, he just wouldn't answer you.
Or he does. So he's not the one leading the charge in the story of the game, and like he doesn't know what's going on. He didn't know that he was a clone. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Okay, story.
It's a Final
B.
Fantasy story. I mean, it's one of the let me see. It's one of the different ones other than no.
Mm.
It's just in a modern future. It's just in a modern setting, so it's more appealing to more people. That's it.
Yeah.
That's really it. It's in a
like
modern
it's
setting.
like a
It's low.
post-apocalyptic steampunk kind of
Because
setting.
it's the
It's-
same thing. Beat big bad guy that's going to end world. Out of
Yeah.
all, let me see, 16 Final Fantasy games. Same
All of them.
fucking. It's the same thing. Big bad
Right.
guy wants to kill world. I don't like that because I live on world. I will kill big bad guy. 7 is popular because 7.
It's the
Not
first that
anymore.
came to America.
It's the first that came to America, and it was set in a modern, realistic world, not a fantasy setting with, capsules
Goals and
Well,
whatnot.
it wasn't the first that came to America. It was 5 and 6. That was
It
the
was
first. that came to
canonically no, but it was on the PlayStation, and that was like
Uh,
the Monster Hunter world or the Resident Evil 2
America. Yeah, for people.
us. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
So it's a generic Final Fantasy setting. It's just set in a modern,
So-
semi-modern
So if you had to
world.
give it a letter grade, what would you guys give it? A B?
I think of it
a
as
D.
C.
C? Okay.
okay, I'll deal with
All
the
right.
C.
So we got
I still think he deserves
a
a D.
B.
I think
an
he
A.
deserves a don't know.
Jesus Christ, dude. Trying to move forward, man. I thought you would give this
I'm
much
just
hate to
saying, I just
Sonic.
don't-
Like Sonic, you were very charitable.
Because Sonic does things.
All right.
He doesn't do
The
anything.
cloud hate is real.
It's not that
Design,
it's
design
It
is
is real.
A.
We're gonna
It is real.
we'll
No,
talk
no.
about it
Design is
after that.
B. Powers and skills, you guys agreed on B. Motivation's a D, and stories a C. That to me,
Story is
He's
a-
a mid. He's a
it's a
mid
B.
B. He's a
I-
mid B.
I'm-
He's a
I
C.
would say C. I'd put him on top of C.
He's a C.
But
That's fine. I can list a lot of
Okay.
reasons why I like 7. Cloud is not one of them, but that's not the purpose
Because
of this.
It's going.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's going. This particular situation is really and truly going by nostalgia, and just simply liking the overall video game. But when you break that down,
yeah, we're reviewing Cloud.
like you break it down by the science of what is a protagonist, that man sucks. He's a D in everything.
Oh my god, he is not a D in
Batman.
everything. No.
Nostalgia, sure, but like the game. See, but I'm arguing stuff that's not. I can't make an argument because the argument will stray from Cloud.
So
So,
this is how
Hey,
the
just
tier
leave it
list
where
is
it is.
forming.
He's a D.
Yeah.
So D is becoming the tier of characters with little to nothing. To
They are a vehicle to move
that
the
is
game
it.
forward.
Like they are not
Yeah.
actually They're
Yeah.
protagonists by just simply the fact that you're playing with the character only, right? C is becoming
Yeah.
like you're the protagonist, but you're pretty whack. B is like you're just enough. A is like you're pretty damn good, and then S is like the perfect protagonist. And so far, it's looking like it's like making a lot of sense to me. Would you guys agree so far with how far we've?
I'm trying to be really fair with, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So with that being said,
Well, if you
Go ahead.
if you guys are really being fair, y'all will put him in a D.
No.
no, he has.
No.
Okay, if we're comparing the rows,
There are worse Final Fantasy characters
if we're,
than
com-
Cloud.
if we're
Let's be
comparing the
real.
rows, and
Were you saying who's worse or better?
Me, I'm saying there are worse characters. If we go
Oh,
by
yeah.
the time, because Clyde Rossfield sucks ass. Clyde Rossfield deserves to be in 10, but that's not the point of this tier list. So I'm just gonna
All right,
stop.
but what I'm saying is it's not necessarily about like the overall game, because like again, the overall game of FF7 is a
yeah,
great
we
game,
established that though.
but right, him as his influence as the protagonist in that game is not a good game. Like he's not.
That's why he's
All
here.
right, mind you, this is a group of people that's coming together on one common goal. He couldn't lead me as a protagonist because he didn't even know he didn't even know how to communicate with his team for the most part. So it's like how could we ranking he specifically is being ranked out of nostalgia. But when we break him down by a science of what is Protagonist, he's horrible.
He's not being ranked by nostalgia because we gave him powers and abilities high.
His
We
powers
gave
and
his
ability is not
personality low. Like,
okay.
I mean,
within
he's
the confines
to
of the
be
story,
fair, he scored very
he's
low
pretty-
based on like everything we went through.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
if we want to criticize power and abilities, let's bump Leon down because I can pick up a gun. If I learn how to shoot it, I'll be pretty decent too.
Exactly. Like,
I agree with that, but here's the thing. Leon is a normal man fighting zombies and mutated people. Cloud is the bad guy. He's on the same level. He's the
Alright,
clone.
we
So he
are
is
getting
the bad
lost
guy.
I'll agree
in
to
the
disagree.
sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we are
okay.
getting lost in the sauce.
Donkey Kong next.
All right, so now that we've hit this point and we've kind of established a trend, I think we need to power through some of these entries. So, rabbits, we don't know this. We never played any of these games. Stop playing, okay?
Yeah.
Donkey Kong, he's down here with these guys. Like, I'll put him up here, but like he's
You
Mhm.
think?
you know, design and look is a C.
Yeah.
Powers and skills, there's an argument for B because he's super fucking strong in his world. Motivation and personality
Mhm.
is pretty low tier, right? His motivation is they stole my bananas, I got to get them back,
Banana.
and that's also
Yeah.
his story. So like it's pretty like he's better than a lot of these other characters, but like you know, I think putting him up here would be that's too much. All right, so let's Pikachu, right?
Mhm.
Like we all know Pikachu, but he's not. If like we would have to look at him as
I don't consider him
a protagonist in the cartoon.
That's it's probably why this guy chose that picture.
Yeah.
But like he honestly belongs down here because he doesn't even talk.
Yep.
Like what are we even saying?
Mhm.
Rayman is maybe right next to DK up here. The kid from Ape Escape, like, is that fair?
D, I would say
Yeah,
D.
D right up here. With
I
the-
mean, his motivation is to capture the monkeys because the doctor said capture the monkeys.
so like he's right next
Yeah.
to DK, right? Rayman's motivation is to save the little like pink, you know, fairy people or whatever. So like it's very surface level, and then like design and look is like it's fine, right, for a platformer. Story is
Mhm.
like D, and motivation personality is like
Mhm.
a C at best, right? Captain Falcon, like your game is a racing game, bro. Like what have you been doing? Tomba, he's right up here with the rest of these guys, right? He's down here maybe. Qbert, like what are we saying? Plants vs
Mhm.
Zombies, put him right there. The Villager, like does he really?
I would put him in D. He is the protagonist you control to play the game.
Right, right.
I mean, you can put him wherever.
That's fine.
I'm
Like
just saying.
that makes sense. That's fair. Let's see. Like I'm trying to find the characters that have no depth. Like Chibi Robo, I never played it, so I can't tell you about that.
Me
Team
neither.
Fortress Man is literally a D. It is the vehicle you use to play as a character in Team Fortress.
I don't know who that is.
Right, like
It's the first hero. So think he's the first hero shooter. So think Overwatch.
The
Okay,
the
gotcha.
Minecraft character. The
Steve,
Minecraft.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
He's right next to
yeah.
him.
Steve, yeah.
Like okay, so like the platformers with more depth, I'm gonna leave them there.
I was gonna, yeah. Okay.
I could talk about him, I guess.
Toe Jam. I don't.
I mean,
Never played that.
Is there any? Yeah, I'd never played.
I mean, he has
Me neither. I never played.
personality, but like, it's not. We're stretching here, right? Like, we're stretching. So like, whatever, right? But that's fine.
Yeah, Earthworm Jim. You could
Good
take him too.
game, but not as a protagonist. His game is good.
I think Earthworm
Yeah, he's-
deserves like a more of a deep dive. So we'll leave him there.
You think so?
I mean, it's gonna be
Okay.
quick, but like, we'll leave him there for now.
Cooking,
I don't.
Cooking Mama?
You also have a
I
cartoon
don't know
to
about
compare him
Undertale.
to.
Cookie Mama, where's she? Where's she?
She's next to Toad. Battletoads.
Oh, Battletoad. Okay.
You,
Right,
Yeah.
Cool. Just to whittle the list down.
oh, that thing from that blue thing next to Cave Story
Oh,
and
the blob.
Doomslayer. I don't even know.
On the Wii
Yeah,
and PS2.
okay.
Yeah, like
Sure.
he goes up here. This list is like I'm the main character, play my game, let's jump on some platforms. Like that's effectively it.
What about
All
the
of it.
crocodile?
Gex.
Next to Gex, or both of them. I meant the
Gex
ones.
and
Gex
Croc.
and Croc.
Like the PS1 platformers, like they all go together. They're all the same game basically.
Bubsy, or does he have more depth?
No. Bubsy
Okay.
Bubsy
I
can
just-
go with these guys right here.
Didn't he have a cartoon? I don't remember.
I never watched it, so I can't speak to that. Banjo-Kazooie, like right next to DK, right? Same game, basically. And honestly, like Crash and Spyro are top of D. Medieval, top of D. Think that
You could probably take
Well,
Shovel Knight
you know
as
what?
well.
I'm more inclined to put him up here because he has a lot of depth. He has a.
I never played the game.
Those games are great. They're basically like
Briefly.
Like 3D Ghouls and
3D
Goblins.
Ghouls and Goblins meets Zelda because he gets a lot of like power ups, like hook shots and
Power-ups,
things like
yeah,
that. So
yeah.
Yeah,
So I would
I
put.
don't remember. I don't remember.
I would put Crash and Spyro there, right? Because they have a little bit more to them than just
And
vehicle to move the game
right,
along.
like Spyro has like
Spyro
a transformation
yes.
and some nonsense like that.
Crash,
Mm.
Not really. Crash, I think is Crash.
Okay, because
deserves to
my
be
only
there.
Crash game was Crash 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
because design and look
Okay.
is like a C. Powers and skills is like a C. Motivation and personality is a D. And story is also a D. So like he's exactly where he belongs. Spyro has way more depth than Crash Bandicoot. In my opinion.
Okay.
And I played most of their games, so I can say that. Battletoads, I'm gonna put them up here with these guys. Maybe
Yeah,
behind.
Rash.
Yeah. Cave Story.
I would put
can't
Skyrim
speak to
up.
that.
Yeah.
Me neither.
S-
I played Cave Story, but I didn't like get too
Only
far in
Zeta.
it. Yeah.
Only Zeta can talk about it in this group anyway.
Where's Cave Story Boy?
What about Sweet Tooth?
Oh, you put Cave Story Boy. He's in
Okay,
Don't
yeah,
Know.
yeah. All right. I thought I did that. All right. Shovel Knight, I think definitely.
I haven't
You know
played
what?
Shovel Knight, I don't know.
Shovel Knight is
I-
really good.
I'd argue-
he has depth.
I'd
but
argue he's right next to Mega Man. Ahead of Simon
I don't know
Belmont
enough.
because he gets a lot of powers and
Ooh,
like
Shovel
he
Knight?
has
I
a
don't
pretty
know.
good story. And he has way more
Yeah.
personality than fucking Cloud. So
Every character has more
that's
personality.
what I'm saying.
than
The bar's low in these parts.
Mhm.
Bomberman, I think he's in D. I put him with
Bomberman is the game, not
right.
the character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Earthbound. I'm gonna put him in don't know.
No. Oh, okay. I would put him.
So
oh,
should
man.
I leave him
think
in?
Am I the only one who played Earthbound? Because there's a lot
Yes.
to
Yeah.
Earthbound.
All right, so
okay.
I'll-
Ness is
I'll-
actually like
I'll leave him there. If
super.
he has depth, then we'll go into it. I don't know though. I don't know any.
Okay.
I can't speak to that.
He ain't no AS. He's like a B. No. Yeah, I'd say he's like a B, if anything. But we'll
All
get.
right, so Conquer I put right next to Spyro. I've only played these PS2 games. This is kind of like more or less the same.
What is that?
Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. It's a platformer on PS2.
Oh,
Um,
do something about the Freddy Night thing, please.
okay, no problem.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
know
not
much.
a
I just know he's an
protagonist, first of
animatronic.
all.
He's not a protagonist. He's a
He's
villain,
a villain
if
in
anything.
the game. We're gonna put him in Don't Know because that's not. I don't even
Yeah.
think he should be on this list. Quite frankly, that's a weird fucking choice.
A lot of them shouldn't be on
Oh,
this list.
put Miku in Don't Know, because I don't know why Hatsume Miku is in this list at
Yeah,
all.
she.
That's who
She's-
that was. Who's
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
figure out?
Wow, I got that before you.
Like, she's
That's
not a
crazy.
video game. Well, I mean, she's in video games. They're rhythm games, but it's a fucking rhythm game.
All right, I can't speak to Alex from Half-Life. I'm gonna put her there unless you guys have a reason.
I don't know
neither.
enough.
I don't play
so
Half-Life.
That's
I
where
don't
she's
know.
going.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I think we can dive into.
What about Skyrim Man? I think Skyrim Man is D.
Yeah, Skyrim Man is the epitome of D, actually.
Like, he's whatever you want him to
Yeah,
be.
I agree with that. Yeah, okay, so this is what's left.
Damn, still kind of thick.
Still, yeah, but hopefully we don't get.
Can we put Duke Nukem in D, please?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, it's fine.
We'll put
I don't care where, as long as he's in D.
Yeah, no, I get you. We'll put right over past Little Mac, and Duke Nukem can go right next to him. That's fair. All right, we're good to continue. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Design and look. What do you guys think? I can't speak to this one. Well, I can. I think he looks stupid as shit. But like, I'm not gonna dilute the score.
I think
I say C.
because I can talk about Sora in a non-biased way, for the most part, I think he belongs to like a B or C, because his design it makes sense. It makes sense for his game. It makes sense in the colors they chose. It makes sense for his personality. I think they've always done a good design on him based on whatever scenario he found himself in.
Yeah,
So-
he's just typical Square Enix design.
I was gonna
so-
say I'm gonna
yeah.
put him right there with
I was gonna
Cloud.
say,
C.
like-
He's
Yeah,
Japanese boy with spiky hair.
Okay, that makes total sense.
that's fair.
2B.
Mhm.
Design and look is, I'm gonna say S. Like, I think we could all agree on S. Powers and skills,
Who's
to-
that?
to be.
Wait, we skipped over everything.
2B.
Oh, okay. We didn't get in depth with Sora. So Sora is
I think we
C.
just agreed that
Okay.
he belongs next to Cloud because he's basically Cloud, but in his world.
okay. Okay, that's what I got lost
If
on. I'm
anything,
not
he talks too much. I'd rather him not talk. But so
Mhm.
his personality is a D to me because I take silence over. Let me find my boyfriend. I love him.
Should
Oh
we
my
move Kid
God.
Icarus ahead of these
I mean-
two? Is that we just do that?
It doesn't matter to me, really. It doesn't really matter to me as long as they're placed in their proper tier. Even though, Cloud should be in D, but okay. 2B, I just bought the game. I don't have a dog in that fight. I just bought it.
Powers. I
Mm.
mean, in her world, she is an android. There are others like her. She is only different because she is the main character, so she is told to be different. But her powers are the same across the board. So I give her B because she can wield weapons and wield weapons.
So
like Dante.
she's basically Eve from
Yeah.
Stellar Blade.
She doesn't do anything crazy. If 9S was on this list, I'd place him higher than 2B because 9S to me is a more interesting character, but he's not on this.
Is he a main character in the game, or is he like a side character that you just run into?
I think he's the first
He's
Nair.
the
Oh,
second
okay.
protagonist. There's two protagonists. Actually, there's three. It's A2, 9S, and 2B. But that's
Okay, so
you'll find out whenever you get to
right when
around
I
to play
play
it.
the game, you mean to tell me that when I play the game, I'm not playing only as 2B,
No,
I'm
you are
playing
not.
as two other robots.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
I think
so
2B is a pretty cool looking character, but
That I
wherever you
agree.
guys place are, I will.
So design and look,
submit to.
I feel like
Mm.
most people agree A to S.
I say S. I would
Powers
say
and skills,
S.
you
It's
said B. Motivation, personality.
That's my take.
Probably a D, right? Because she doesn't look like she has a lot of depth.
How can I? So her motivation is she's fighting to save mankind. I don't want to, because it would
Okay, so it
spoil
sounds
the
pretty
game.
generic.
That's a huge spoiler. Yeah, it is kind of generic, but with a slight twist, but not much of a twist,
So what
in my
letter
opinion.
grade
So,
I'm thinking.
C? I'd say C.
Sorry.
She's
Yeah.
a really hard character to fight in Soul Calibur. She's really hard to fight.
You mean cheap?
I know nothing about that, so I didn't even know she was in it. So I know she's the new
Yeah.
Cloud. She's in everything. So
Like she's in Soul Calibur 6 and
So-
she's
So we
Oof.
thinking C tier?
she's a
Right next
handful.
to these guys?
yeah, because I think her aesthetics, her other negatives do not propel her higher.
Kid Icarus is kind of like, probably there. That looks better to me. All right, so I played all these PS2 games. I love all of them, but let's be real.
Let's see.
They're all
let's
like
see.
C and
They're-
D,
they're-
in
they're-
my opinion.
At best, I put Ratchet up here next to Spyro. I'd probably put him ahead of Spyro. Sly Cooper.
Who's that, Ratchet and
Yeah,
Clank?
I'd
Yeah.
put him up there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're C and D.
Yeah,
So-
how they massacred my boy in Jack and Daxter.
Yeah, I think he
I-
loses a few points for that.
Yeah.
So we're just
yeah.
gonna kind of chop that off.
Oh, that's when they were trying to make him cool.
Yeah.
That was the
Yes.
era of where every video game character had to be cool, right?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
So,
Mm.
okay, Kratos from God of War.
My knowledge of him is the 2016
I'm-
reboot.
Right. I'm gonna give Kratos average on everything except story. I think his story is pretty legit.
Okay, wait.
But
Okay.
I don't like the fact that he's a made-up protagonist character that's taken on Greek mythology and Norse mythology. But the way they integrated him, it was like, okay, this is whether it's a movie or a video game or an anime or a TV show, it's something I can get into because I like Norse mythology and I love Greek mythology. May not be a fan of his games, but I'll give him in story. I give him an A easily.
Yeah, I'm with you. A in story.
Yeah.
Okay, so
A, and give him A's across the board.
Well, I think his power set is
Esoteric
S.
likes him.
so
Well,
let's,
yes,
let's
with the
start
S,
from the
yeah.
top and work our
Yeah.
way down. So design and look, I think is fair, at least an A.
A, yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah,
I
A.
guess so.
Come on, he looks, especially we're talking God of War 2018 onward, looks pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
At least an A.
Yes.
Okay.
Argument for S. Powers is an S. Like the guy's fucking
It
OP
has
as
to be
shit.
an S.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Whether he earned it or it's not.
No,
It's yeah.
I give him an S in powers because that's.
I feel like
what
that's
he
pretty
is.
undisputable.
That's him.
I mean, he's a god.
Motivation,
Right.
I think he
He
scores
is.
very high. I think he has
Yep.
he has reasons to do everything he's doing. I think that's at least an A.
So, yep. I agree
Personality,
with that.
there's arguments there. I think his personality loses points. If I scored them separately, his personality would probably be a B. But like, I think his motivations are strong enough
I
to carry
wouldn't
that.
give his personality that.
I think
wouldn't give it-
there's been growth. I would give him an A because of his growth. The first
I'd
three,
agree.
it was
I'd
like
agree.
yeah.
And,
I only know.
and I
The
think
reboot.
the story is pretty solid. I think the story's A. I'd agree
story
with
is,
Esoteric in the A's across the board. I think he's an S tier character.
I don't think he's an S tier character. I think he's an A tier character. But if he gets S tier points, it's because
Well,
of
he
the
has-
story. But other
Well,
than
I can
that,
put him at top
I
of
don't think
A.
he.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, because I
don't
think the
he
only
deserves
S.
more than
The only
A.
S,
Yeah, the only S
got
tier he
powers,
gets.
right?
It's his
Yeah.
power.
I think
Yeah,
everything else is
yeah,
high, but
yeah.
not like, extreme.
It doesn't break that threshold, in my opinion.
Okay, I
Right.
agreed. I think that makes the most sense. All right, Link.
That's a hard one
That's a tough one.
because he's not S tier.
He is not an S
No,
tier.
he's not.
I don't think Link is S
Definitely
tier,
not. Yeah.
No,
but I don't think he's B tier.
no.
But then
I
I,
would
can
say
make
he's
an
also
argument.
A. I think
I-
he falls under A.
I
but
think he's a B.
um,
I think
really?
so.
All right, so let's
go
go
through
through the
So design
yeah.
and look, and this is like pick the best iteration of Link, in your opinion.
Twilight Princess.
Okay, I was thinking Twilight Princess.
Well, okay, so I think it's on the same level as Mario, though. Is it not? It's the same. It's the same look for the most part with Wind Waker, not Wind Waker, Skyward Sword and Tears of the Kingdom being a difference in that he doesn't wear his traditional green tunic, but Link has worn a variation of his green tunic since I've been alive.
That's true, but he's always looked.
I think
like,
he looks.
With Mario, it's been subtle differences. With Link, there's always
Well,
been.
it's not so much the
significant
differences between games, because most of these characters have looked the same between all their games. But like Mario's look is generic. Like he's just a jump man, right?
It's just pants.
Like there's nothing special about him.
him.
He scored super low.
Yeah.
What pushed Mario to B tier is quite frankly his powers and skills, and like his motivation, personality. But like Link, I think looks way cooler. Like whatever we scored Mario,
Yeah,
I think Link gets a letter grade above him.
Yeah, that's what.
so
I was
he would
saying,
get an A
here.
then.
Uh,
Okay,
I say A.
I can.
because I think we gave Mario a B, right? Or did we
I
give
gave
him
him
a
a
C?
C, I believe, because I was the harshest on Mario.
I thought I was.
We'd
But
have
I
to
guess
play,
not.
We'd have to
You
play
was.
it back. But A,
That's
I think is too
me.
high. I think he's
So-
a B as far as looks are concerned. If we take the best iteration of Link, whatever that means to you, to me they all kind of fall in the same category. Like they're all B. Like none of them blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
No, not even
Okay.
for my favorite Zelda game.
All right, so powers and skills. This is an interesting one.
That's what makes
I
it
can't.
hard.
It's hard to say.
Okay, so
That's
if we
what
break
makes
it
hard for
down,
me.
Link is a reincarnating, for most cases, a reincarnating hero who is gifted with extreme courage
Mm-hmm.
to face overwhelming odds. So he always beats Ganon because he is not intimidated by his power, but in some aspects he can be naive, which is why Zelda is his counterpart to impart wisdom upon him to keep him focused and on the straight path to overcoming Ganon.
So in his world,
So
I think just with the content, because Ganon I think is top dog. Like Ganon is the alpha in this world, and Link can fight him, but I think in most encounters, Ganon would probably have the best of Link. So I think Link would be an A. I think he's a great warrior, and Ganon is a supreme warrior. Like Ganon is.
okay.
Does that make sense?
But,
No. That actually is not the case, but I understand your point.
Like Link has to do
The
so
case
much
is-
to get to the end of the game in each game that he's in to fight
I guess
Ganon.
so, yeah.
Like there's a lot of growth that he has to go through to even get to the point where he can
Yeah.
fight him. And even then, so it's still a
What
struggle.
you're saying? Yeah.
So like in his world, I think Ganon is S and he would be A. Is that fair?
So
But isn't that typically what happens with antagonists? Like they're always a notch above. So like to place Link having to place Link based off that, I don't know if that's fair.
Is it? Because if we look at S tier,
Well-
Snake in his world is pretty comparable to all his enemies. Bayonetta's pretty comparable to her enemies. Leon is pretty comparable to what he faces because of his skill set and weaponry. Is Link comparable
So,
to
okay.
Ganon?
I get what Kong is saying. Yeah.
So how am I? Are we basing it in? Okay, so you said you're basing it in how he interacts with the opponents in his world.
Yeah, in his
Right?
world.
In terms of
yeah.
power?
Like at
Okay.
his most powerful,
Okay.
Ganon is still a challenge, while everything else is
Okay.
whatever the first dungeon boss is a challenge at that point. But like once you get 50% in the game, that boss becomes trivial, right? Like Link outpaces that.
So okay, here's the thing, right? Because typically Link's journey is when he's going through his journey, he's typically collecting things to break the barrier in order to contend with Ganon. It's not usually anything pertaining to having to fight Ganon besides the Master Sword. That's pretty much it. It's always just the Master Sword. Everything else is for him to actually be able to get to Ganon's domain.
Sure.
So I don't know.
Are you saying that you
I
only use the Master Sword against Ganon, like you never use any other weapons?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like, okay, I'm not speaking on like the weapons themselves. I'm speaking on like, let's say Ocarina of Time, you needed the medallions in order to progress or whatnot. Those were more so utilized in order for him to get to Ganon. You know what I'm saying? Those items weren't necessarily, well, the weapons that you acquire throughout the dungeons, you don't necessarily use against Ganon, if that makes any sense.
So
This is why it's hard, because there's like a metaphysical power to Link, and then there's a physical power to Link.
Right.
So for me,
Right.
his metaphysical is A, because he's transcending godhood almost, in that he is a reoccurring figure who is transplanted to his descendants, or in the case where there is no descendant, the closest thing that embodies the courage that is needed to fight Ganon. I might be
And
thinking
then-
too much. But
yeah, you that was
Yeah,
some
and then
Jordan
there is
Peterson
the-
shit right there.
Right. Then there's the weapon. Like the Master Sword was designed to beat Ganon. So
So-
the Master Sword is actually
Can we
designed
go back for a second?
Link.
What did we give his design and look? Was it a B?
I
Yeah.
think,
Okay.
yeah, B.
So we're on powers and skills. This I need to track because this is one of those characters that's like going to require a lot of like layers being
I
peeled
feel
back.
like Link, right? I feel like Link can. That's the hard part with Link is he can easily be S because of what he can do, but in
But
the
because Ganon
overall
exists,
aspect,
I think that
right?
bumps him down.
It tones him down. It
That's
checks
my
him.
point.
Because Ganon and Link it's checks and balances. Like Ganon can't survive without Link. Link can't survive without Ganon. So they're equals. The reason why you beat Ganon is
Well, you only beat
because
Ganon because
it's
you
a
have the
video game.
Master
You have
Sword.
to win.
So if Link with the
Exactly.
Master Sword against Ganon, it's a 50-50 matchup. Because even with the Master Sword, Link can lose to Ganondorf. From my understanding.
Which he has.
So without
Right,
the
he
Master
has.
Sword, it becomes like a 9-1 matchup every time. Like even a
That's hard to
10-0
say
matchup.
because if the
Has
Triforce,
Link ever
it's really
defeated
hard.
Ganon without the Master Sword?
yes,
Can you educate me as to when?
he
Because
has.
I don't know.
It's always with Zelda though. That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. It's always with Zelda.
With her,
It's
with
never
her
by
bow,
himself.
the light bow.
Right. The light bows.
True.
So there's only two weapons that can tame Ganon: the Master Sword and the light
Okay,
arrows.
so besides
That's
those two tools,
it. Mm.
like Link has never beaten Ganon.
No, because any
Well,
game that he doesn't have the Master Sword, Ganon has
Oh.
conveniently not been in.
So Kong, you're talking about brute mano a mano brawl. You're not talking about power levels. You're not talking about destiny. You're not talking about reincarnations. You're talking about put him in the ring, give him boxing gloves, and let him duke it out.
Not
Is
literally.
that what you're
no,
comparing it
just
to?
in the meta of the world that they exist in, Ganondorf is just stronger than Link. Even at Link's strongest, like Link is now formidable, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so without the Master
Yeah.
Sword and without Zelda's assistance, that's a tough matchup for Link to win.
Yeah, that's
Right?
fair.
That's my
fair to
point.
say. Okay, now I'm
So
getting
like
it.
that, I'm looking at it as like a
So-
fighting game. So like,
Yeah, because Ganon is the Triforce of power. So everything he does, it backs up his when it comes to power in terms of his influence, power in terms of strength, power in terms of determination. Like Ganon is far more determined than Link is because he doesn't want to give up. He cursed them for eternity because he didn't want to give up. So the Triforce of power is more than just strength. It's a lot of things that deals with
well, it's any kind
tyranny.
of power. It's
Right, it's any kind of
I get
power.
that. Power
I
of
agree
mind
with you
and
on that
body. Yeah, I
respect.
get it. And spirit.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why it takes the
Right.
other two pieces to counteract the Triforce of Power.
So
Right. So I
with that
agree
being
with you
said,
on
like
that.
I think
Yeah.
we can agree on A because I think Link is strong as fuck. Like he is a strong character, but because his antagonist is so much more, like his antagonist shits on almost every antagonist on this list. Quite frankly,
Pretty
which is
much.
why he even scored.
Yeah.
Because any other situation, he would be an S in powers and skills.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ganon
that's
checks
fine.
him for real. Ganon checks
Okay.
him. I think A is fine for Link.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because
I
I'm
can agree
trying to
with
look at it in a vacuum. I'm not trying to derail,
it's
but it is
no, it's
tough.
just super
It is
nuanced,
tough, yeah.
but yeah.
So motivation and personality. Obviously, personality is non-existent. So motivation.
I would say that's high A, right? Like the man
Yeah.
is
It's trying to save the
motivated
world.
to save the world. I mean, it's a generic, like it's the motivation of mostly every RPG character. So if we're gonna lump it in with that, then it drops to B.
Well, I think he's a notch above. The reason why I give him A is because like it's him being reincarnated consistently in order to deal with like it's kind of like some divine intervention. Like if you were to put him as a god, that's his mission, his sole mission is to like subdue.
Yeah, we've seen the games where a hero isn't present. Wind Waker, the
Yeah.
entire world is flooded because that's the god's last attempt to stop Ganon because there wasn't a Link during that time.
Yeah.
So we're going A or B.
so-
I don't know, man. It is
Link
so
is one of the
hard.
hardest
It's-
ones.
it's
Link
so
is hard. Like there's a lot to Link. But yeah, I can say A.
Okay.
I'm saying A.
All right, I'm not gonna fight that. Story, I think we could all agree is probably an A, at the least, right? Because
Yeah,
the
even-
story is generic, but it's I think it's well told through gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can argue nuance, but that's just me nitpicking.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, is it fair to put him right here next to Marth?
I think so.
Nathan Drake from the Uncharted games. Discuss.
Oh man. Okay, so
I don't know where to start, honestly.
all right, so we go to powers and skill set. It's on the same level as Leon. Like he knows how to use his Second Amendment rights.
Correct. and he has a mean,
Okay,
a mean
so-
left hook. So
He
And
does.
he has luck plus 100 because like
that's
the
true.
catastrophe.
Yeah, the
you go
shit he
through-
survives.
So
Yeah.
S, powers and
Um,
skills, design and look, I think is like a B at best.
B. He's just
B.
generic white
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, B.
I mean, B.
Motivation and personality. I
Um,
think he's probably an A here, right?
I think his personality is He was like he evolved from quirky, haha, I'm just gonna rob some tombs. I'm Laura Croft without the tits and I'm funny, to like 4, he was just like, I'm too old for this shit. I have a kid now. I want to get out of this. Why is my brother dragging me into this mess? So, yeah, I think it's I would give him a
Oh.
high personality.
That's what you got from that? I got
That's what-
yeah. I got my wife is telling me not to do this anymore, so I don't want to do it. That's
Yeah, but
what
he
I
also
got.
had a child, so it's like he's a father now, and his brother's like, bro, just like old times, we're gonna raid some tombs, and he's like, yeah, but I have more at stake now. Back then, when I was in my teens, shooting at the cartel, it was different. Now, if I die, my, wife loses a husband, child
Yeah.
loses a father.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he made me chuckle in his one-liners. He was kind of like the Prince on that level for me, anyway.
Yeah, no, he was
Like, he
funny.
got some chuckles.
Well written, good script.
Definitely funny. Yeah,
Story is probably a B, right?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
Indiana
Indiana
Jones. You
Yeah,
know?
it was Walmart Indiana Jones, yeah.
So with all that being stated, I think Nathan falls right next to Dante right here.
That's fine. It's Dante if he was a human. Like, straight human.
So let's see if we can shave some. Let's try to get this list down here. Okay, so the Guilty Gear characters, I don't know anything about their story. I can't talk about. I'm gonna put them in don't know.
I mean...
Because I played the games,
the
but I don't know
anime
enough about
Yeah.
them.
Me neither.
Michael from Grand Theft Auto 5. He's just there, man. So like, but he has.
I would put him high D because he's a protagonist you used to go through the game, but he's got a little bit of a personality.
And he has a backstory or whatever. So yeah, high D is fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Grand Theft Auto fans. He's not. I get it. I know you probably are a big fan, but like he doesn't do much for me. And I don't think I'm gonna get pushback from these guys about it. Akira, I'm sorry, but like you're just a dude in a fighting game. As far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna put you in don't know because I can't speak to his story.
Yeah, there isn't much there. Yeah.
Who else can we kind of like?
Spider-Man. We could shave off Spider-Man and put him in S tier.
No, we're gonna
Like-
talk about that one.
I would put Kirby. I love Kirby, and Zeta would probably not speak to me again if he
Yeah,
heard
I
this.
think
deep
Kirby
story, though.
probably is
I
like
know.
right here with these guys.
Kirby C, yeah, because he is also the protagonist you go through the game with, but Kirby gets fucking deep and dark. So
I mean,
yeah,
I'll
that's
put
what
him
I was
above.
saying,
I'll put him
like-
next to Ratchet because I think Ratchet is probably the most fleshed out platformer
Yeah.
character here.
that's fine. Yeah.
So that that's where here. Star Fox. Do we? I feel like Star Fox is like up here somewhere.
Yeah, I would put Gordon Freeman maybe in C as well because he's he's a silent protagonist. It's the main character. It's the guy with glasses next to Shulk,
So,
Who's Gordon Freeman?
Half-
Who's-
half-
the main character from
so
Half
I'll
Life.
put him next to
Okay, I've never-
Skyrim.
Never played it. Okay.
Ooh, Bubsy. Oh, gotta put you further down. All right. Shenmue, man. I mean,
I think he is fucking. I don't know what's the fascination with Shenmue personally, but I don't care for him as a character.
I think it's the time in which that it was released.
It has to
the
be.
mechanics,
absolutely
the mechanics
the
and
time.
stuff.
It came out at the right time.
That was it.
If you try, I tried to play Shenmue now and I couldn't do it. I was like, this game is rough.
Yeah, and I hear that's part of the charm. It's like, nah,
Nah.
it's just a bad
If
game.
I played it in '99 when it came out, sure, I'd probably dive into it, but like, not now. No way. Sweet
Yeah, it's a
Tooth,
game
I'm gonna
that's
put in
aged.
don't know
Yeah.
because I can't speak to anything about him besides his appearance.
Yeah.
Frank
same.
West, I think, might be like right next to Michael here. I'll put him ahead of Michael.
Yeah, if I'm gonna put Michael there, Frank West is just Michael with zombies.
Yeah. Okay, I can't speak to Professor Layton. I'm gonna put him in don't know.
Me neither.
I
Me
haven't
neither.
played enough.
I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
where
I
he
don't know
goes.
much about him either.
Shantae is gonna go right here next to Spyro. Earthworm, Gem. I'm gonna put you at bottom of C.
I would put Soap there from Call of Duty because he's just army man, but with a slight personality.
So
Unless there's any deeper notions on Soap that I'm from this group that I'm not aware of.
I don't remember. I know the story was pretty deep,
Not me.
but I don't remember.
He's the main character, I think, in not Black Ops,
Modern
MW2.
Yeah.
He's just army dude with a British accent, so he's cool and kooky.
I think the rest of the Oddworld, I'm gonna put you with the other platformer guys.
I mean, his game is pretty deep, but I
It's
can't
deep,
really.
but like his story ranks high, but like design and look is not super high. Powers and skills not super high. Yeah, he's kind of
Maybe C?
he's in
Yeah.
C for sure.
Yeah.
Put him next to Spyro, and that's what we're left with. So I'm trying to like shave the fat there, just
No, I understand.
No, that makes sense. That
so
makes
Joel
perfect
from
sense.
The Last of Us. Design and
Oh,
look,
man.
I think is B. Just flatline
Yeah.
B, middle of the road.
Mhm.
Yeah, powers and skill sets has to be the same. What S in his world? Like he can create alchemy in his backpack. He knows how to use guns. He can bash you over the head with a brick. I mean,
I think an A is fair. I think S is too high. He's been
Yeah.
outwitted too many times to be considered anything
true.
higher than an A.
but then he had that one man fucking like rampage at the end of the game. I sucked because I wasn't great at the game, so I didn't make it badass. But I imagine a better player would
That
make
was his
it.
highest point. I think
Yeah.
I think Joel's very strong in the first game. Obviously, in the second game, he's a joke.
Yeah.
I think A is fine for powers and skills, context within his world. Motivation and personality, I think, is an S. And that story, I think, is also an S. Maybe even an A. Do I get it?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I thought it was a more interesting take on zombies and a character within a zombie world. They weren't as fucking like sometimes clueless as Walking Dead characters can be. Like he knew what world he was in and what he had to do.
Yeah.
He didn't want to discuss morals and ethics with a clicker. So
I'm gonna put Joel in B. Above.
yeah, because I think
Simon
his
Belmont.
looks hurt him.
Yeah, because like
Yeah,
his
his aesthetic
aesthetic,
hurts.
there's nothing interesting there. Like he's fine, but like
I could see a Joel walking in
yeah,
the street.
for real. Like the story and like his motivation and personality carries a lot of water for that character.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
his
mean,
combat.
the game itself pretty much carries
The
a lot
game,
of.
yeah.
Like the story within the game carries a lot of water because it's it's okay. in my
Ezio from
opinion.
Assassin's Creed. I think design and look is A. Powers and skill.
Yeah, everybody loves him.
I would say
I
A.
agree. His design is pretty cool.
A
Yeah.
is powers and skills. I think he's in his world he's
I
strong.
don't know his powers and skills. But he's like a
Imagine-
ninja, right? He's a
He's
ninja,
stealth
right?
basically a
He's
ninja, yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. I give it a B.
Motivation, personality,
A.
story. I think those are probably
I
B.
didn't play it.
Everything else for me is question marks.
Yeah.
For me, I
really
think
can't
I think
remember.
he's with Dante and Nathan. He's kind of up here.
Yeah. I know people like praise his version, his Assassin's Creed games as like the last good ones, but I haven't played them.
I only played the first one, which was 2. That was it. Him and Altair. That was it.
I think that's fine.
Master Chief. I think design and look is an S. I
Yeah.
think he looks badass. Powers and skills for his
Mhm.
world. I think that's tough. He's either an A or an S, but I don't know which one.
I would rank him very high A because he's essentially the Captain America super soldier of Halo world.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
he's I don't know. At the like original Halo, there was only him. He was like Captain America. There was only one of them.
Yep, they would have to put him in cryostasis just for just for him to fight the war when they needed him. So
This is a tough one.
On that aspect, I agree.
This is a tough one. Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning to S, and it's gonna sound biased, but like, in his world, Spartan 117 is like legendary status. Like he's done so much. Motivation and personality.
Yeah.
I mean, what more motivation do you need than to save the human race from multiple alien fronts? Personality. I don't know if you guys played Halo, but like he does have a personality.
He does. He's funny as hell.
He
I've only played Halo.
he kind of embodies like who's a comparable character?
He's kind of like Snake. I think he's kind of like Snake.
Yeah,
but with
like a
more
battle hardened, you know.
A little more umph.
Well, he's a little more sarcastic than Snake.
That's what I was gonna say.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. I'm a little more umph in
Yeah.
his personality. There's a kick in his
And then like
personality.
the story of Halo, I
Snake.
think is decent. I think it's like a B. I think he's an A. He's an A protagonist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of me wants to put him an S, but I don't think he deserves an S. I think he's like up here with Kratos maybe, because he ranks so high. But I don't think he's better than Kratos. Even though I like Master Chief more than Kratos, but I think just based off the scoring, because Kratos scored so high. Samus.
S, and my argument stands.
Yeah, S tier. I'm the next bias there.
Let's break it down.
I can't really think of a reason to go against it. I think her design and look is awesome. Powers and skills are obviously an S. I think her motivation and personality, I think that's probably her weakest.
Unless it's other M Samus, then her motivation is like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, but she grew up. That was a prequel. She grew up. She
and I think the story is fine. I think this is the way I would score it as somebody looking from the outside looking in. S in looks, S in power, A for motivation, personality, A for story.
Yeah, I
Yep, sounds
No,
like
she's
an
S.
S. Yeah.
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 She's,
definitely S.
Where an S? That's
I would say higher than Leon,
higher than Leon for sure.
and right behind.
I think she's higher than
I
Bayonetta.
don't know, this kind of fits.
I think she's higher than Bayonetta. Because
Well, she
when you
does. I think
compare
she
the
beats Bayonetta in
stories,
looks.
not necessarily looks, but in the story aspect. Because Bayonetta story is, I mean, she's fighting angels and she's a witch.
I'll give it to you. Sure.
But Samus is an orphan who, well, they're both orphans, but Samus is an orphan who's fighting to save the galaxy. So when you look at it, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of hard because like the angels is concentrated on one, I'm gonna say, place in the world, but Samus travels to multiple planets.
Well,
typically.
okay. The thing is with Samus though is that like typically her missions she doesn't know that she's saving the galaxy, right? Like she would go investigate some shit that's going on the planet, and then it becomes something bigger. Whereas Bayonetta, off the rip, she knows like these entities that she's fighting can destroy the entire world and shit like that. So
I'm also going on the fact that there's many more Metroid games than there are Bayonetta games. So there's many more material to pull from to make Samus an overall well-rounded character than there is for Bayonetta.
well, if you go by that then yeah. But story wise, like it's always
I think Samus has a
stumbling.
better story. I honestly do feel like not being, I mean, yes, I love the character, but I feel like she just naturally has a better story. She just naturally has a better story in terms of like who the character is, the hurdles they have to face, the situations they run into. She's fought herself. She's fought her power suit. She's fought aliens. She's fought other hunters. She's fought her own federation.
All right, she's already an S. So
Yeah.
Shulk from Xenoblade. If you guys just want to give him a rank, then and we could just discuss.
I mean, he's another.
I like the character, but I don't know much about his
B.
I mean,
story. So.
I would say his aesthetics are B. He's kind of generic. Oh, you want an overall score?
Yeah, we could just like
I would
unless
give
you
him a
guys need the
B
breakdown. The
overall.
breakdown's kind of like if we're like
I mean, the only real interesting thing about Shulk is that you find out he was basically a spare body for God. I found that pretty interesting.
But I also,
I mean, that's what he was. He was like a
Yeah.
body for a god to like have a
Yeah.
physical body.
but again, he's your typical anime character. He's clueless but optimistic.
Yeah, I would leave him in C. I like Show,
Yeah.
but I think he's C.
I think
Okay.
he's C.
So ahead of Cloud and Sora, like right next to 2B.
When did Cloud get into C? I thought we agreed Cloud was D.
Nope, we put him in C
No.
and we moved on.
You
We
said
put
it.
him in C.
You said he
Yeah,
was
he's fine where he is.
Okay,
Lara
what's the next
Croft.
one? That's Lara Croft. I think this new iteration of Lara Croft is pretty cool. But I don't see her any higher than a C or B, because to me she's like Nathan Drake situation, or any one of those video game characters that's like, I have to fight generic enemies on a deserted or secluded area
I think
because
Yeah,
I'm looking for something on this
I'm gonna place her
secluded part of
like
the world.
yeah. I think Nathan Drake is more of an interesting
I agree.
character.
I agree.
Yeah, and
I'm
he's
just
more
saying, like,
realistic.
it's like the same. It's like in the same space.
Oh yeah,
like-
no, literally, yeah.
I think Laura is top of C. I think she defines
Yeah,
this
that's
column
fine.
pretty well. Ness from Earthbound.
That's you, Gunner.
So, okay, so Ness is he falls in like a typical JRPG protagonist. Little boy finds out he's on a grand adventure, where Ness becomes a more interesting character. Okay, so powers and skill sets, I would say S, because he's technically a psychic. He could control psychic or psi energy, and as a form of magic. So I think that's pretty high. So that was like, if we want to compare it to devil energy, it'd be like around Dante.
Okay.
Let's see. Motivation, it's save the world, so same as Cloud, Choke, 2B. Story is where it get interesting, because basically Ness travels through time, and the ending of Earthbound, he travels in time, back in time, to kill a yet unborn ultimate bad guy. So ultimate bad guy
Wow.
destroys the world. So Ness and his
That's
crew
dark.
they go back in time to kill him before he becomes evil, to stop him from ever being evil. That's pretty fucking meta. So his
That's-
story's up there.
That's War Machine when he's like, "Yo, can we go back and kill Baby Thanos?" Kind of like,
Yeah, well, they did it in
I was gonna say,
Earthbound.
that was
That
War Machine's idea.
they did it.
No.
They did it.
that's
So
interesting.
So would you argue with this assessment? So design and look is obviously a D. Powers and skills is S.
Yeah, I mean, it's-
motivation, personality, A, and story S.
yeah, that's what I would
All right.
rate
So
it.
with those rankings, he would rank
He'd be like a low
higher
B, maybe,
than
right?
Dante. He would actually rank a low A.
He would actually rank a low A because the S would give
Yeah,
him
it
that.
would give him the. I was gonna
Yeah.
put him here, but like I think because the and I'm going based off Gunner's opinion here. Story and his
Yeah, I mean,
power
if anybody in
level,
the comments is
and
more,
then his motivation, I think, would score pretty high. So like that's two S's, an A, and a D. So like, if he looks
Yeah.
cooler, he'd be an S tier character. Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
get over here. That's all I know.
So
I will put Scorpion as a low A or a high B. My personal opinion,
okay.
but that's just
So-
me.
This is the one we're gonna have to break down a little bit. So, design and look, I think, is an S. I think he looks cool.
Yep. I
Powers
agree.
and skills, I think, is an A. I don't think he's the most powerful in this world, but I think he's
Correct.
formidable.
I definitely agree with
Motivation
you on
and personality is probably an S.
that. I would give him an A
I was thinking A,
because
but
he lets it go.
okay. So I mean, I'm okay with A.
Like his
Yeah, A
motivation.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think
I gave him F because he moved from kind of like Kratos, like he moved from that whole vengeance.
and I think
aspect,
story is
and-
probably also an A, at least.
yeah.
Yes.
So
I think he's low. I think he's A. I don't care where you put him in.
I think
A,
he's
but
low. I think
he's
he's low S or
I think
high
he's
A.
probably just above Ryu.
Yeah,
I
he
will
definitely
agree.
has more motivation than Ryu.
So I
I
think
will
that's
agree
for-
with what you
I think
gentlemen
that's
say.
fair. Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. This is gonna be primarily esoteric.
I don't know.
So what do you think, man?
I am quiet on this one. I give him an S because he fought giant spiders.
Yeah, because you left me in that damn game. Whatever. Okay.
I'm thinking here, right next to Joel, maybe ahead of Joel.
Listen, man, that man took on giant spiders. You could put him in any rank you want to put him in. I am not
Now you're
contesting.
loosey goosey, but we talk about Cloud. What was Cloud in C? I thought we agreed on the D.
He fought giant spiders.
Okay, so personality, I'll definitely give him an A. Powers and abilities based on his world, definitely he's up there with like Leon and them. Because again, he fought supernatural things.
Yeah, he's a trained soldier. Yeah.
Yeah. What were the other two? What am I missing
Design
here?
and then story.
Design, I would give him like a B. I mean, he's a generic dude just with like armor, which I
Fucking
gotta
tree
say the
trunk
armor looks sick.
arms and shit.
Yeah, the armor looks sick. And story, I would give like a B because basically they were in a losing war and essentially he helped win the war and turn it around.
Damn, you gave it a them Gears fans are gonna burn down your.
But it's generic war hero movies, right? Like you got this guy who comes, he's like the protagonist. He's like the ace up their sleeve, and he wins the war. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then again, I only played from 1 to 3. Like the other 2, I don't know what the hell happened. So yeah.
I've only played Gears. Gears was a fun game. I mean, to me he's action man, like big action man.
Yeah, I would put
I
him.
think he's
I would put
fine
him
where he
next
is.
to- honestly, I would put him next to like Ezio and Drake. You know.
I'll put him ahead of Mario.
That's fine.
I think Ezio
Okay.
has way more depth than Marcus Phoenix. All right. So
Well, yeah,
the hero
yeah.
from Dragon Quest.
I don't know anything about him except his powers is S. The nigga broken. Done.
Yeah,
Every-
I mean, oh man, I think him and Chrono kind of suffer from generic JRPG protagonist syndrome.
Hmm.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be fair, I would probably put him. I don't know much about 3. I know more about Chrono. He kind of suffers the same thing. The only cool thing about Chrono is he dies in this game. He gets killed, and you don't have to bring him back. That's pretty meta. But I think C is fine.
So right here above,
Yeah.
like the other JRPG people, you think that would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
fair?
I ain't got nothing to say about him.
All right.
Yeah.
The next one
Yeah.
is gonna be Wolf. Travis touchdown.
I only played the first one, so
I give Travis anywhere in the B tier.
B tier. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. Because B tier is kind of like it's pretty elite, so I feel like you got to earn your
Yep.
spot there. So
Sure.
looks and design. What do you give him?
I give him a B for looks and design because he's wearing regular clothes, like clothes that any one of us can go to a clothing store, pick up, buy, and actually put together. You know,
but
so
he does look cool,
he's
and I
wearing
think we
pretty
gave Nathan
normal
and Joel like
clothes.
B's as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
that
I
makes
think it's
sense.
fair.
So
Yeah.
powers and skills.
So his skills, he's a natural fighter. At least that's what how the story explains it. His main weapon is it's different forms of laser beams, so they're like pretty much lightsabers. But where Travis earns his powers and abilities is the fact that he took on skilled assassins as a newbie, and just by observing the fight, he able to overcome them. So he was always praised for his natural ability to pick up on his
That
opponent's
sounds like
habits.
that sounds
then
like at least an
counter
A, maybe even an S in his world. But I've
Um,
only ever watched gameplay. I've never really like dove into the game, so
Mm.
I can't speak to it.
Okay. Then there is his personality. I think is pretty immature because especially in No More Heroes 1, all he thought about was his whole motivation was to date this woman named Sylvia, who was
Oh,
like his agent, who recruited him into the assassination organization. the Assassins organization. So I think that was a pretty immature way to get, like, he got suckered in by a beautiful woman. And for a grown man, that's pretty immature in my opinion. But for story, I'm going to give that an A, because from No More Heroes 1 to No More Heroes 3, he matured to the point where he started to value the lives that he was killing or he was taking. So it started to mentally affect him, and he had to remove himself. So he went from being this kid who was just dumb and full of cum to this adult who's like, this is my job, yes, but these are lives. These are families I'm affecting, and it's taking a mental toll on me, and I need to remove myself. And that's where No More Heroes 3 came into play. So I feel like he went through a character growth, and it went from being just, yeah, I'm gonna cut this dude's head off to have a chance to date this girl, to I'm cutting this dude's head off because I made my bed and now I have to lay in it. And I value my life and I have to protect myself. So the whole scenario, just like, it's his own karma that's biting him now. And I think that was pretty cool. It went from being this fun, silly game to being something that's like, I'm in deep shit.
So, based on what you said,
that's why I give him a B.
Design and look is B. Powers and skills is A. Motivation, personality, I put a C. You didn't give it letter grade, but based on what you were saying, it's like fine, but like not great. So, and then story's an A. Is that fair? So B, A, C, A.
Yeah.
That would put him in a B for sure.
B,
Probably put him right next to Joel.
Wherever you feel comfortable. I just don't think he should be anything higher.
I'd agree with that. The Wanderer from Shadow of the Colossus. So we've all played this game. I think design and look is fine. I think it's also a B. Doesn't do anything crazy for me, but it's not terrible. Powers and skills is probably a C. In the context of his world, he is very weak. Personality, motivation.
Yeah.
Personality is non-existent, but the motivation.
No, it's
is
S.
It's S.
It's S. I ain't fighting gods for no woman. My man is unsealing fucking primordial gods for was it ever his girl or his sister?
They never.
Was it ever
explained?
Well,
it's a woman.
Sorry, sis. I'll tell mom you were the best. Sorry, lady. Good luck.
But it's not just that, right? Like, he's doing this, and while he's doing this, he's pretty much destroying the world.
Well, he's getting played by the gods because they just want to get out.
Exactly. So
yeah. S.
But his motivation is S.
Sure.
Yeah, to me, it's
story. I think is an
his
A.
motivation
I
is
think
S.
the story is really
the
good.
Story is an A.
Yeah. So I think that puts him. I think I would say high B, maybe low A.
I think he deserves to be right next to Travis Touchdown.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. Yeah, I feel he deserves to be right next to Travis.
I think
Touchdown.
it's his motivation that kind of propels him, but everything. Yeah.
Because he's low in everything else, really.
Yeah.
Well, motivation and story is pretty high. So motivation.
The
story is A. Motivation is
pretty
S.
high.
And then power and skills is C. That really bogs him down. Design is B. I mean, I can concede that. I don't think he's. That's fine. Like, that's not a hill I'm gonna die on. I think his motivation, the context of his motivation, carries a lot for him.
Yes, it does.
You know what it is for me with the Wanderer? He loses a lot of respect when you get to the end, and they pretty much say like, "Oh yeah, we were fooling you." It's like, damn, dude, you were clowned.
Yeah.
Like, it's like.
And then he gets shafted and turned into a baby, so his sister and or girlfriend now has to raise him.
Yeah.
So it's like he becomes like this big clown of a character in the end. It's like, oh my god, this guy went through all this trouble. But it is what it is. Again, Shadow of Colossus is the game, not the character.
We're talking about the character.
Yeah.
It's the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Doom Guy. I think Doom Guy
I don't
is
know.
right next to these guys.
Really?
Because he.
Oh, okay.
I mean, okay. So to me, I've always seen Doom Guy as just the vehicle to move the game forward. I can't tell you anything about the story on a deep level.
Okay,
Me
so
neither.
what? Okay, so I've only really played reboot 2016 Doom, which is the photo they're going
Mhm.
with. So wouldn't his aesthetics rival Master
Oh,
Chief? Because they're
100%.
fundamentally the
So,
same. are
okay,
they
if we
not?
would break it, if I were to break it down, so design and look is an S. Powers and skills is,
It has.
I feel like,
Is it not an S?
I would say A.
I mean, he literally
it's an S. It's an S.
demons
It's an
are
S.
scared
It's
of
an S.
him.
It's an S because if Master Chief is an S, it's an S for him because
Oh, Master Chief was an S
yeah,
too.
100%.
Okay, then yeah,
Look
yeah.
what Master Chief
He's
managed to pull
fast.
off in his universe. So
Yeah.
okay, SS motivation and personality is like a C, bro.
Okay, personality is
And
non-existent.
then story is like
Um,
to me a B. And I don't think I'm being generous. I feel it's more like a C. But I don't know anything about the story beyond the the little bit from the original Doom, if you want to call that a story, and then the little bit that you got in Doom 2016, which I didn't dive into all the lore, so I don't know.
I mean, yeah,
The
yeah,
Fire
okay.
Emblem
So the
thing.
lore is I find the lore interesting, but if we're not gonna get into a lore
No.
discussion. So yeah, I could
With the
agree
double
with
S's though, that does bump them quite high. I that kind of puts them in
I'm fine with
B,
B.
top of B,
Mhm.
right next to Dante,
I'm fine
maybe
with
behind
B.
Dante. Yeah, that feels
Yeah,
right.
I'm fine with that.
feels right. So no further discourse on Doom Guy. Okay, uh, Arthur Morgan, or is this?
No, that's John Marston. Arthur Morgan is not here.
So this is
Go ahead.
John Marston. This is Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Red Dead Redemption, and he's also in our Red Dead Redemption 2, and you do play as him towards the end of Red Dead
Oh,
Redemption 2. So he is a
But
playable
in Red
character.
Dead 1, he's like the character you play with.
He is the main character. Yeah. The photo they're using is from 2, but that's
Okay, gotcha. So I've only ever played Red Dead just very sparingly. I can't speak to this character beyond.
I mean,
You like what I'm looking at? I think design-wise, he looks pretty cool. I think B is fine.
he's a cowboy. Yeah, B.
Powers and skills, I think for his world, maybe an A.
Yeah. He knows how to use a gun and ride a
Motivation
horse.
and personalities probably scores pretty high. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, what was God? It was so long. I know in the prequel, because our Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel. He was young, stupid, and didn't want to take charge of the fact that he had a family because he had a wife and a kid. But he was always like, oh, "I just want to be off being a cowboy." And then in Red Dead Redemption, he tries to build a better future for his son, but the only way he knows is crime. So he tries to build a better future for his son via crime, which catches up to him, and that's why he dies at the end of the game.
Oh my gosh, all these video game characters with the consistent story. Jesus.
So, I mean, I say the story is like B.
Okay. And the motivation personality also a B.
Yeah.
So that's B A B B. So that puts him smack dab in the middle of B somewhere. Probably like near Joel or something.
Yeah, he's kind of like a cowboy Joel. Fine.
Siegfried from the Soul Calibur series. So if I had to go down my list, design and look is an A. Powers and skills S. Motivation and personality I think is an A. Story is a B.
I agree. And for context, Siegfried shows how you actually use a big sword. Like, I'm just saying, like he does well.
Here we
with
go,
it.
shitting on Cloud again.
So I'm just saying.
I was a Tala main, so I don't know much about
So
him.
what I say, design and look is what I say A. No, B. Oh, did I say A?
You said B.
I said B.
No, A.
You said A? Okay.
A.
So double A, and then stories a B.
Story was
motivation,
B.
personality, also a B or a C. Because I didn't write it down.
I think it was A. I think it was AABB, wasn't it not?
ABB sounds right.
Or
ABB sounds right. Okay, so we're gonna go with that, and Wolf agrees with me. I think that probably puts some.
I agree.
Putting him in A feels too generous. I think he deserves B. I think he's somewhere in here.
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay. The Witcher. what's this man's name? I forget his name.
Geralt.
Yeah,
Geralt or Geralt?
Geralt.
of Rivia or whatever.
So I think he looks cool. I think his design is an A. I think his powers and skills are S. Motivation
For his world,
for his world. Motivation and personality. I don't know. I'd probably give that a B or an A maybe.
Well, I only played Witcher 3 because that was tied to Xbox for a long time, and then when 3 came out, it was on the PlayStation, so I could play it. He is the last of his kind. There are no more Witchers, but he's still just a bounty hunter. Like you pay him and he kills demons and creatures. So his motivation is money, if anything.
I'm thinking B. Like he occupies this very similar space to these guys.
He's kind of like a Belmont, basically.
I think he offers more than Belmont. Like he's a better Castlevania character.
Well, yeah, he literally can spew fire out of his hands and shit. Yeah.
Ace Attorney. This is all you guys. I can't speak to this. So design and look, it's got to be a B, right? This is pretty generic, but it's not bad.
My man is sharp. He gets an A. Look at the blue suit with the white shirt and his white shirt and the red tie. I literally go to work like that on some days. I'm giving him an A.
All right.
Being biased.
He looks good in the suit. The suit looks good, but
I could say A. He just, he's got the weird slick back, like fucking stab you with my hair look. That's different.
What about powers and skills? Has got to be an S, right? He's like a master lawyer. No.
I want to say like depending on what Phoenix we're talking about, he starts off at an A because he's very naive and he's always looking for help, but then his boss literally fucking dies, so he has to do it on his own. Yeah. But at near the end of Phoenix, right? Yes, he is a competent lawyer in his own right. So
probably more than competent. He's probably like quite skilled.
Yeah,
right?
he becomes pretty skilled.
Yeah.
Phoenix Wright is an interesting one, but I agree. He's probably high B.
So he's got double A so far.
Mm-hmm.
Character and not character, motivation, personality. What would you guys give him? Probably high, right?
Say A. His motivation is to find his client not guilty. I mean, that's
he getting a big check. That's motivation too.
And then story.
That's
like the overall story. It sounds like I feel like those text games have to have like a really good writing, good story.
They have to because it's a visual novel essentially.
But you guys tell me.
So the story is deep. Yeah, the story is pretty good.
So
I would say A because they all link together in like a final boom moment.
So that would put him right in front of Kratos, actually. So yeah, Phoenix right.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
All right, Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man.
S.
It's across the board.
So design and look.
S across the board.
Can we go through it? Can we fucking damn?
Oh, fuck your democracy.
S.
We already know S across the board, man. We don't have to go through it. It's just S across the board, man.
It's just S across the board. This is the easiest S.
Is it though?
There's no need. There's no need to go through it. It is.
It is. It's the easiest.
I'll go through you because I'm not.
Nah,
really, and this is coming from a Spider-Man fan, so I want to hear.
Yeah. But in the context of his world, within the video games,
mm-hmm.
he's not. He overcomes, but like he's not blowing through everybody. So design and look, sure, we could give it an S. Okay, I'll concede an S because he looks cool. Powers and skills, I feel like his is an A.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm shocked. I'd say S.
Yeah, because
I'm giving.
I don't know.
I gotta give Spider-Man an S.
He's super smart, super strength. He has speed, healing factor. Like I don't see where he's an A in any way, shape, or form in his world.
He makes a lot. He makes a lot of mistakes as Peter Parker, which affects his abilities as Spider-Man. Which is why I feel like
I agree with that.
That dumps him down into an A. Like he's not. Let's look at some of the S people here. These guys up here get the job done. Like there's very little getting in their way.
Ever.
Like they're very rarely are they distracted. These guys in S tier. right? Leon, you could
Yeah, but
argue,
they're-
yeah, okay, Ada Wong in the Asian, the yellow fever.
Yeah, he did simp pretty
I
hard
get
though.
it.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
he
I
was.
don't know. They're no. I would disagree because their missions are pretty much black and white. Whereas Spider-Man, he has to navigate most of the people that he that are his antagonists are playing a day-to-day role within his personal life. So it's really
Don't get me
hard to
wrong. I
kind of
think
like.
Spider-Man ranks very high. I think Spider-Man is probably like top of A easily. But
So-
getting him to
Are we
S,
talking about Spider-Man or video game Spider-Man?
I'm talking about video game Spider-Man.
Okay, I just want to know what context. Because if we go to comics,
I'm not even going to touch that because I don't have the
No,
knowledge.
that's
I
too
don't have the
much.
knowledge.
That's too much.
So
Okay,
I think
yeah.
if
Yeah,
we
that's
look
too
at,
much to go into.
because all the Spider-Man games kind of occupy the same space. Like it's the same story told over and over again. Story is like an A at best. If we take the best Spider-Man game, which I think is Spider-Man 2018, the story for that game was fantastic, but it wasn't groundbreaking. It was an A story. Motivation and personality, I would give that an S. Powers and skills is to me an A, and design and look is an S. So
Oh,
Mm.
man.
that's
I don't want to be a
He's
tiebreaker
fifty
because I don't.
fifty.
I mean,
that's tough because he's
I
either
don't know.
here
I wanna
or here.
I wanna give his story for the original Spider-Man on the PS5, not Miles Morales or Spider-Man 2. I'm talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah, the PS4. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Right, the PS4. I
I'll give
give
that
that
an S.
story an S.
yeah.
The real reason why I give that story an S is a personal experience. I am one to skip through cutscenes.
Mhm.
And the story for Spider-Man was so
I could have skipped the
interesting
cutscenes for that game,
to see
especially
how
with the Aunt May stuff. Like that was pretty impactful.
Yeah.
right. And for me, it was, other than Infamous, this was one of the few story-based video games where the cutscenes were so important to me, so engaging, that I lost myself in them. I felt like if this was a movie, it'd be a damn good movie for Spider-Man. The
Yeah.
comic book, cartoon arc, whatever. Everything he went through in that video game was like, this is, not only did it touch base on what we know Spider-Man as a comic book character, but my God, as a protagonist, he went through shit.
Yeah, and it wasn't one dimensional. Like he would, overcome the obstacles, but
Mind
it
you,
would hurt him in the end.
video games that are story based that has choices are the ones that always pull me. And the choice to either save his aunt or save the city,
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was a heart wrencher.
That's
That's true.
I
Yep.
don't
And then the person who did it was the person that he looked up to, that he was working with this entire time. Like, the story was pretty compelling. It was
So
definitely S tier.
I'll concede S tier for Spidey, only primarily. Okay, Wolf convinced me on the story. Okay, the story was S. Okay, I'll give it to you. And his powers and skills, I was saying A. I'll bump it to S because in Spider-Man 2, he is pretty fucking powerful. Once he gets the symbiote and he be in the anti-venom suit,
Yeah, I
it's
heard.
pretty fucking crazy strong.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so that'll bump
Yeah.
it to an S. I'll concede he gets an S. Okay, convince me. All right. Batman.
That's Batman?
Yeah. Arkham
Yeah, that's
Knight
Batman. Arkham Knight. Yeah.
You know, this whole time I thought that looks like Ghastly.
What?
I guess my eyes are going bad. I don't
What the fuck?
yeah.
All right.
You must be tired.
I'm tired. Listen,
must
I've
be
been up
tired.
since 6
Look, we
a.m.
just got the last two characters. So Batman looks pretty cool. I think
hmm
I'm torn between A and S for looks. I don't know.
I was gonna
Me
say
too.
okay.
'Cause I think
okay.
His Arkham series has looked S tier. Like
yeah,
it
I think
was pretty.
out of all the Batman iterations, as far as video games go, like this is the best one, hands down.
Yeah.
Not even like a competition. Powers and skills.
As much as it burns me,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say he's either high A or S.
Oh, that's yeah. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Just want to go through everything in the context of his games, at least. So, design and look is S. Powers and skills for the Arkham games, it's got to be at least an A.
Maybe S.
Yeah, I would say that. I could see that.
A or S? I'll leave it. I'll leave
would
it to
say-
you, Esoteric.
A. Oh, esoteric. Okay.
I would say
A.
A.
Okay.
I would say
Motivation and personality. I think that's like A as well.
Justice, yeah.
It's Batman. So I give him an S, to be honest.
And then
Because I think to be like we're talking about Arkham,
Arkham
Asylum,
Asylum.
or Arkham
All three.
City.
All three, yeah.
All
The
three.
Arkham series.
For me, the most impactful one was Arkham Asylum because it's a death trap and a situation he had to escape. Whereas
Yes.
Arkham City, there's more freedom.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
pressure is not so high.
so far we got so S for looks and design, powers and skills. You think A or S? Like in the context of his games, how does he rank up to his enemies?
so tough.
I think he's an
It's
S
so
when it
tough.
comes
I
to
would
his
say
enemies.
S, yeah, because it's Batman. So
It's Batman.
yeah,
I
he
mean, the
fought
reason-
Batman villains. He didn't fight like Superman villains or Flash villains.
I know, but the
Right.
reason why I say A is because throughout the entire games, like you see the battle damage on his armor. He gets his ass beat quite frequently.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
So
like
it's kind of hard. It's like I don't know. It's tough. It's tough.
but then he still beats Bane, Poison Ivy,
So Croc,
Riddler, Joker, Croc.
yeah,
Like
he
you
took him on, man.
I mean,
That is true.
Peter
Yeah,
Parker
yeah,
got
yeah.
his ass whooped in the final fight in the first game.
Who?
And Peter Parker.
Peter
had
Parker?
custody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
you're right. You're right.
his suit got
Yeah.
jacked. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. S. We'll give him S. Because
I feel him and Spider-Man have to be on the same tier because we have to rate them on the same.
On the same rubric.
I mean, one has superpowers and one doesn't. But yeah, according to the rubric, in a world of Batman world, he is S.
No, you're right
So-
about that. You're right about that. Especially considering he
That's
was consistently
that's fair.
fighting enemies.
and I think the story
yeah.
was fantastic
Oh.
for that game too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
do think
Yeah,
so
yeah.
too. Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah.
I'll put him at
Yeah.
S. Looking like a healthy S rank. And then Ryu Hayabusa from the Ninja Gaiden series.
Man, I think he's such a
Ninja
cool
Man.
character, but he's not that
I'm the
high.
Ninja Man.
D.
No.
Because his clothes catch a fire and the enemies
Okay.
don't. D.
His power, his
Why is
Designer
your
look is
clothes-
an S.
Why is your
powers
clothes
stop
not
playing.
fireproof?
designer look is S. Powers is S. Because he
Oh,
used
come
magic.
on. He's a basic ninja.
No,
What
no, he
S
is not.
that?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about design, not his powers. His powers is
His
different.
design is cool.
By
as
design,
hell.
he's just a
No, he's
ninja.
not. What are you talking about? You don't. He
Because ninjas are cool.
no. He basically has Batman's suit on.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's yeah.
Because Batman is a ninja.
Yeah.
Okay, so then should I just put him in S now?
So ninja is cool. I think he's an A. He loses points because his clothes is
Okay,
flammable.
listen, you didn't get past the first level.
Get out of here. Get out of
Ninja
here.
Gaiden. So
Go sit down. Go
you
sit down.
can't.
Go
You
sit
can't.
down.
I'm not letting you have this one.
That's
Listen,
true, though.
he has superhuman
Powers and
abilities. Like he's
skills?
super agile.
I think he's an A.
Like S.
I think he's an A, bro.
Listen, the only reason why I don't think he belongs in S is because of that one thing. Everything else about Hayabusa, I agree with.
I
Even in
say
Dead or Alive, he's one of
No.
the best characters to use in Dead or Alive.
I
He's
say
exceptionally amazing. He's an amazing character to control in his own game. Ninja
Listen,
Gaiden overall is a good game.
listen. I say
Right.
S because he's a weapon master, right? He uses Ninpo, which is magic. He has superhuman abilities, like physical human abilities, like speed, agility, strength. Because the weapons that he's freaking swinging around a goddamn golden sword. That shit has to weigh at least 150 pounds. Like,
All right, but I
and
don't.
he's fighting
I
demons.
still,
He's
I
fighting
still
demons
don't.
and other ninjas.
I still don't think he deserves S
So
because in the end of the day, he did get assistance. He was helped by people from time to time,
my heart
whereas everybody
puts
else
him
on
right
S
next to
tier
Link.
were solo.
This is what my heart says.
I agree with that.
He's basically Link in his world because design and look for sure is an S. Motivation and personality is pretty mid. I would say it's like a B.
Isn't it to avenge his clan
Yeah.
or something?
Initially, it was to avenge his clan, but then it transitioned to him protecting, like, the village and then ending up protecting the world and stuff, because it'll be a rival clan that will like awaken demons in order for like them to take over the world and stuff like that. So he's like a protector.
Classic ninja
Sounds
stories.
like a B story to me, and a B personality to me. So that's a BB AS, which puts him right here.
So he's
That's
A.
what I feel.
Yes.
The reason why I say his power is
Yeah.
A instead of S is because yes, he's a weapon master. Yes, you know he's highly skilled, but like the things he's fighting is like otherworldly. And yes, he does overcome these odds, but like it's not without struggle. Like to me,
Yep.
it's the same logic as like the Link Ganon thing. It's like Link is super powerful in this world, but Ganon checks him. And I think in Ninja Gaiden, like Ryu gets checked by a lot of things in his world because it's just so out of this world. It's like, you know what I mean?
I think it's more so because of the gameplay why it seems that way. Because in the cutscenes,
Nah.
he's owning everything. In the
Yeah,
cut, there wasn't like a cutscene or anything story wise that like checked him. You know, it's just because the gameplay is
Alba's
so damn
sister
hard. Like
checked him. That pink demon bitch. She was
She
formidable.
checked him and the player
She was
base.
formidable.
She was. And again,
I'm not
remember,
saying she's
like,
not formidable, but
and remember that in the end of the day, yes, may have heightened human abilities. He's still fighting demons. And when you look at the difference between what demons can do and capable of versus what a human can do and capable of, he wins because he is the main character, but also a lot of his weapons are endued with those demon powers. So in actuality, it's like he's using them against themselves. It's not like he's using a basic katana to cut them in half. He's not. He has to use other weapons. So it's like, okay, it's like this, right? It's the same logic where I say why it annoys me when people say Batman could beat Superman. Yes, Batman can if he's prepared. The reason why Ryu can fight these demons is because he's prepared. But if it's just a basic katana, or I forgot the sword that ninjas use, these little short ones that ninjas use, or a shuriken, it isn't going to affect them. So if you strip away the demon part of what he uses for his advantage, he doesn't stand a chance.
well,
in the end of the day, there's a gap there. It's the demon powers there's the demon weapons that's closing the gap.
Well, as far as I know, it's only the dragon sword. Yeah, that's imbued with like dragon energy or whatever. But all his other weapons are pretty regular. Like they don't have any like, as far as I recall, they don't have any type of like, it's not endowed with anything. And then also he has his magic as well.
Yeah,
without the weapons, he has magic.
But without the Dark Dragon Blade, I think it was called, he literally cannot win.
That's why you do a lot of rolling.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking from a story standpoint. Like he cannot.
Yeah, I know.
He cannot win. It's like Ganon versus Link
it in
all over
there.
again.
Right.
I mean,
I think for the type of monsters, if he was fighting other ninjas, I can understand that. But he's not. He's fighting things that's above him. So survivability is everything, and it's strongly expressed in the gameplay. That's where I meant to pull in the gameplay, is that because of the gap in power, it's expressed through the gameplay. That's why we do a lot of dodging. That's why we do a lot of rolling. It's like Elden Ring, right? All the monsters in Elden Ring are significantly stronger than you, or Dark Souls. They're significantly stronger than you. So you utilize a lot of evasive attacks or evasive maneuver to stay alive. Monster Hunter is the same thing. You see the power gaps through the gameplay, but really, he's a human being. He's not taking on demons by himself. And he did get assistance.
Even if I granted you the S, it wouldn't put him much further ahead, because it's not enough to get up here. Like, at best, he's up here with, like, Chief and Kratos. Like, he's not getting up here with these guys. Because maximum, he'll have 2 S's. Because his story is mid, and his personality motivation is mid. So I mean, I'll leave him here just to like give you a little, leeway. But like he's not cracking S. He can't. You need at least 3 S's to be up here in the first place.
And these dudes hold their
Is
own.
that fair? Like all these characters have either S's across the board or 3 S's easily.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right. I'm glad I did the rubric thing
I
because
yeah.
that made this way easier.
I-
What were you gonna say?
I can't give much because I just think Ryu is cool, and that's not enough to get up. I just think he's cool. Like aesthetic wise, he's a cool character.
No, yeah, I love Ryu Hayabusa. I love Ninja Gaiden, but like, I'm trying to go by like the rubric and like the rules that we have set.
No.
Which is why like Donkey Kong's at the bottom, Crash is at the bottom, Mega Man's mid. Like it's like that hurts, but it's like it's truth. All right, so let's go through the list. I'm gonna, rapid fire this. So S tier: Solid Snake, Samus, Leon from Resident Evil, Spider-Man, Batman, Bayonetta. A rank: Phoenix Wright, Kratos, Master Chief, Ryu Hayabusa, Marth, Link, Sonic, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, Ryu, Kirito from Yakuza, and Ness. B tier: Dante from Devil May Cry, Doom Guy, Nathan Drake, Ezio, Siegfried from Soul Calibur, Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War, Mario from Mario games, Jin Kazama, Mega Man Original, Shovel Knight, Geralt from The Witcher,
Well,
what's this man's name? Joel from Last of Us, John Marston or Arthur? John Marston.
Yeah. John Marston.
Wanderer, Travis Touchdown, Simon Belmont. And I'll just go through C. D is not even worth going through. Lara Croft. What's this man's name? Just
Chrono, because you could call him whatever they
Chrono.
want. They call him Chrono.
Hero from Dragon Quest 2B, Shulk, Cloud, Sora, Kirby, Ratchet, Fox, Sly Cooper, Sir Daniel from Medieval, Shantae, Spyro the Dragon. Oh man, Abe, thank you. Abe from Oddworld.
Okay.
Kid Icarus, Conquer, Soap from Call of Duty, and Earthworm Jim. And then you see the D tier. D tier is basically made up of just standard video game characters that don't have any depth. They're just the vehicle that moves the game forward. And then this don't know category is either characters that just don't literally score so low that they're not even deserving of a D, or we don't know. We haven't played these games, so we can't speak to it. And that's our tier list. That took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but we did it.
Yeah.
So if you've made it this far, wow.
You're a real
you
OG.
are devoted, and thank
Thank
you.
you for making it this
Yes.
far. And I apologize for the tangents and getting lost in the sauce, lost in the weeds. It happens with these tier lists.
Comes with the territory.
It comes with the territory with these episodes. So,
It would have been a lot easier if Cloud Strife wasn't on this list. We would have cut like 20 minutes.
With that being said, if you enjoyed the episode, give the episode a like. Leave a comment down below about any disagreements or agreements that you have with the tier list setup. I will link the tier list in the description down below in case you want to run through it yourself. You can tell us your results, what you feel is what characters should go where. Subscribe for more content. We do podcast episodes every week. We publish Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. All the episodes aren't this long. Only the tier list episodes become as long as they are. So this isn't an every week thing. Most episodes are an hour long. Check the description down below for all of our social medias. So we have a presence on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We run a Discord. We also have the Twitch channel. Mr. Esoteric streams 2 to 3 days a week on Twitch. Usually Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It kind of alternates between those 3 days. So definitely check him out. Give him a follow. He plays all kinds of games, so you're not going to be disappointed. And I think that's it. So we'll see you in next week's episode. Peace.
Goodbye.
Take it easy.